Romelu Lukaku had a record low number of touches today, and I was just wondering what you thought about that. What it says about Chelsea's performance? Is it a reflection on Lukaku, or something about the team, or maybe something about the way Crystal Palace were defending?
I'm not so sure if I have a good answer on your question. I don't know. I don't know what it says. It says that he was obviously not involved and could not make a point today. I'm not sure if it says so much about us in general.
Hi, Thomas. It's a great result today, but it wasn't maybe the best performance. How do you assess it? And you had a week to prepare as well. So does it show that maybe there's something lacking even when you do have time to prepare?
I have to stay calm now, because I mean, obviously you have no idea from how a week like this works, because we come from a 30-degree temperature difference. We have 6 players with a cold from the AC in the plane. We have jet lag. The guys come from a jet lag that they had in Abu Dhabi. We have almost no player who slept well in Abu Dhabi because of temperature and the time difference. So it's the same here. Like if you think we have a normal week to prepare, I can just tell you it's not like this. We try to survive at the moment, and you can see, and there's a lot of pressure going on if you go to a World Cup, and if you want to win it for Chelsea. The players put a lot of pressure on themselves, and then we didn't play Premier League for 4 weeks. It's a huge, strange mix of a lot of reasons why I personally did not over expect today performance-wise. Then we had some issues yesterday in training that Aspi and Callum Hudson-Odoi went out from training. So this is where we are, and yeah, it is like this. I know that we can play better. I know that we want to play better. We were at least solid defensively. We were disciplined. We told the team in half time not to lose a face and to keep on going, like in a cup game. Maybe this one chance will come again and is decisive. Keep on believing. Don't do crazy stuff. Don't take a risk to allow transition for the opponent. And I mean, the first chance that we allowed from Crystal Palace is a clear foul against Christian Pulisic. And okay, the last one is in extra time where we can defend better. Yes, but it was the only chance. And we have a clean sheet, and it's not the first 1-0 we have.
Neil Warner.
Thomas, the team did look jaded, and I have to ask, with so many games played and the football authorities wanting to expand the Club World Cup, expand the World Cup, expand the Champions League, expand the European Championships, can you, in this season of so many games, see that is any way advantageous or possible?
No, if anybody can explain me how we want to organize it and how we want to keep the quality in the game, I'm open for discussion, but it's very hard to see how this should happen. It's I'm a big fan of quality and not of quantity. So if this answers the question.
Stanley Mockwell.
Hi, Thomas.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, at the end, you and your staff were hanging around. You appear to be looking at something after the game. We couldn't see what you were looking at or what it was.
The highlights were on the screen. All the and the chances from Crystal Palace. So we were like having a quick look.
Thank you. Thanks.
Gary Cox.
Hi, Thomas. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Liverpool won again, but they're 7 points ahead. Is that a realistic target that you can catch them for second place?
Unfortunately, we don't play them anymore, right? So it's a bit like they look very, very strong at the moment. I didn't know their results, but they look strong. They look, yeah, it's what it is. And they got a huge player in Winter to make their squad even stronger. it's how it is. But we will not give in. I will not tell you today that it's impossible to catch them. We will, but there's no other way than to improve our game and to improve our style, and to win game after game after game, and to start winning in consecutive games. There's no need to look to Liverpool, Man City, or looking behind. We have enough to deal with, and we have enough to improve, and from there we start.
Okay, last one on today before we do Mondays. Tom Hopkinson.
Hello, Thomas. You've spoken this week about the things that you feel you need to implement in the side if you want to be league champions and not just cup champions. Is winning games ugly like this one of those things, and therefore very satisfying?
I think that every team in a season like this will have games like this, especially like in between December, January, and February, where the conditions can be really like cause huge adversity on top of the strengths of the opponent. So yeah, this is it. It was if you play this game, which is of course possible, if we had another draw, we would maybe even talk about it longer. So if you win it late, or however you win it, you have the chance also to move on and to forget it, and to take the positive energy out of it, and take it into the next game. And you don't have to think about it too much, and you don't wake up tomorrow and thinking, oh, well, what could we have done better, or should we have scored here or there? No, we did it, and in the moment, this is very important for us. To reinstall a bit of more freedom in our game, a bit of more fluidity. We look a bit drained. We look a bit like exhausted. We look like we try hard, but you can see that we try hard, and everybody is looking for the flow where you try hard, but nobody sees that you're trying hard because things look easy. Yeah, we're looking for it, but in the moment we struggle, which is not a bad thing, because everybody wants to be part of it. Everybody gives its very best, but yeah, we struggle a little bit, and for that it's very, very important to win and to have a clean sheet, and we keep on going.
Okay, that's the end.
All right, so what's up, everyone? I'm joining you with DJ Sav. So DJ Sav, what's going on?
Hey, all good, Ty. How's it going with you, bro? Thanks for having me on your stream, mate. It's good to be here with you once again, doing another stream. Yeah, all good, all good. How about you? You good?
Yeah. I was just trying to share the stream online, but Twitter is giving me issues, so I'm still trying to do that. But the title, I forgot to put up the banner, so let me quickly. Yeah, so we'll be focusing on a lot of things, possibly 4, but the broader topic is, what are the larger issues at Chelsea Football Club at the moment? It's pretty obvious, and even in this interview, the reason why I show this conference is because a lot of things were mentioned in it after the Palace game. The things that were mentioned, for example, is that teams around Chelsea had improved and they had added to their squad to add that depth, add that versatility into their team, but Chelsea didn't do that. And in some ways, you can understand why, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that does lead back to the summer and that window. So I want to get DJ Sav's thoughts on what he thinks about this, and we'll be discussing other things like the board structure. The reports that Chelsea are looking to get a sporting director in. But we're going to start off with this Palace game because I didn't do a review. So we're going to speak in little detail about the Palace game and situation surrounding what had happened.
Yeah, bro. Can you hear me first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Listen, obviously the game in itself, obviously it wasn't the greatest of games, but in the end we got the job done. I guess that's the biggest thing was the result. What we could have done, obviously, again, if we go looking back on the game again, again it's on missed chances. We could have, we had obviously had, don't forget Ziyech had a goal that was offside as well, that was chalked off. It was a game realistically that you could tell it was a game that we were obviously just coming back into our flow after being away for a little while. Coming back, obviously people knowing we're world champions. Obviously Crystal Palace are going to up their game against us, bear in mind what we've gone and done. And to be fair, the game up until then I thought was actually a fair game. I don't think any team was really cancelling each other out. I think it was just more like, it was more or less more to the fact that, both teams had their chances. Obviously, being the Chelsea fan, obviously we wanted to get more. We wanted to score more than one goal. Wasn't the case, bro. But what counts for me in this situation, the way things are at the moment with this, and obviously not getting the best of it, not playing great at this moment in time, but still winning games, not being effective for me is a good sign. And long it may continue. Obviously, I want us to continue to try and win games, but obviously win a bit more effectively, which I think will come again in time. But a win's a win at the end of the day, and we're winning. We're third, and I can't complain any more than that, bro. Other than that, we could have obviously, the game could have been a bit more impressive. It could have been a bit more exciting. But a win's a win at the end of the day, bro. It's one of those situations where the job was done and we got the 1-0 win, even though the goal came like in the 88th minute of the match. So, yeah, I can't complain really about that, mate.
Yeah, rightful so. And obviously the atmosphere around it and the narrative will be around Lukaku and how many touches he had, the fewest touch, because I think that has overshadowed the fact that Chelsea won, because it's going to be a case where the number 9, the big signing, only had 7 touches, and I had to laugh when I was watching Match of the Day and I was looking at about what Alan Shearer was saying, and Gary and everyone, because it was funny, and I'd seen another graphic showing that he had the least touch since stats were being recorded and the amount of touches that person has, and it's surprisingly funny that he had less touch to that of Jamie Vardy, and that was 9 touches, and that was against Crystal Palace in 2018, the 2018-2019 season. So it was pretty weird, but I think that narrative is gonna be overshadowing, and it will be overbearing over the fact that Chelsea were able to win the game. A lot of fans would probably not, like for it to be at deciding in the 89th minute. But I mean, there were lots of positives in that game. You had players still performing. Obviously, there was some disjointment there. You had players that were playing all the positions. They were playing positions that don't suit them, and they were playing in positions to cover other players who weren't really doing their jobs. So it was all over the place. But there was a lot of positives. A lot of players were still able to do well. Ziyech still being consistent with his performances. So there are a lot of positives, even though the media and everything will change the narrative and say that, Chelsea, big money signing, their record-breaking signing, it wasn't able to score. And he had the fewest touch, and he only had 2 touches in the first half and 1 being from kickoff. So there's a lot of narratives around it, but at the same time, Chelsea were still able to win, and that's just a sign of good teams. If you're able to win games in that fashion late down in the game, you have attackers who are able to finish, and you have players still able to create. That is good, and that shows that you're a good team. And I mean, that's exactly what we need. We need good performances. We need players to step up, and when the team needs and no one else is doing the job, you have a team. You have someone to step up. But yeah, I 100% agree what you said, DJ. It's even though it's concerning that we aren't able to finish games off earlier, we're still able to win, and that's all that matters.
No, again, bro. Again, everything you've just echoed there is true. I mean, obviously, I didn't point out on Lukaku's performance because I don't want people to think I've got this Lukaku agenda, which I don't have. But what I will say is it wasn't just Lukaku yesterday. Again, we saw yesterday it's the same situation. Every time we get to the final third, we just can't put our chances away. And I think that's if it's the one thing I would say in this whole game, is if we can't, when Lukaku did get his chances to do it for us, he just wasn't doing it. But again, all it goes back to again is that stat you gave was a very interesting stat, because I think we've seen this now in the last games, last 6, 7, 8 games, where we are creating, but just the ball is just not hitting the back of the net on a regular basis as we like. Now, this is a situation I know that is it a worrying situation? It can be if we're not winning games, if we're losing games, but the bottom line is where we are winning still, and even, as I said, this is by the odd goal, we are still winning the games. I do believe, even in the World Club tournament, that we won, again it was the same situation. We didn't create that much, and finally when players did wake up in the second half, we saw Callum Hudson-Odoi cross, and then obviously we see Lukaku can finish, and we know he's got that in his locker. He just needs to do it on a regular basis. But it's one of those situations, bro. As I keep saying, we're winning, not playing well. But when you're winning and you're not playing well, you can still and be effective. It's great. It's great as a team generally. It just tells you that as long as we're not losing, we're still keeping up to pace with the likes of Liverpool now, not Manchester City, because they're never going to win the title race. But if we can at least narrow the points down to Liverpool's points, great. It's still great. We're still going to be in the top 3 come the end of the season, and I think that all counts. Bear in mind we're in all the cup competitions as well. So, we still got the Champions League to defend as well, bro. So, a lot still to play for. But I'm not disappointed. I'm not upset as a Chelsea fan. I'm still happy that we're still doing the business, but not effectively as we'd like.
Yeah, so that's 100% true, and the fact is, even though it's a bit concerning, we are still able to win games, and that's all that matters. Sometimes you have to win games by the odd goal. Sometimes you have to expect a goal from somewhere you're not expecting it from, because sometimes your attackers will not always be finishing every chance that is being created. But the important thing is that there's some improvement, because I can remember, I think it was last month and the month before that, we were drawing games. We were drawing games 0-0. We were winning games 1-0. Previously in the season, we were still top of the table. But it just shows that even though we're not on our top level, because we're falling off based on scoring, and obviously there's a lot of factors: losing Chilwell, losing Reece James, losing those attacking players who actually can create for the attackers as well, and not only be just the wingers or the midfielders trying to create. We have lost people, we've gotten injuries, but obviously sometimes times like this really put the squad to test, and to see how versatile they are, how good the depth is. But I mean, it's true, and like you said, we still can start. We can still end the season winning more trophies. We could win the League Cup in a few days. We could win the FA Cup, possibly. The Champions League, we can still retain it. It's not impossible, because we've seen in the Champions League that any team can win it as long as they work together. And I just want to say big up to Chelsea Perspective. Thanks for being in the chat. I don't know who else is here, but there's 2 people here. I'm not sure who else is here, but big up to you guys, and whoever will be watching this as well. Thank you. Big up to you,
Trajic TV.
Well, yeah, big up. I know you're coming from Green Turf and the Global Fans Shadow. Thanks for coming. Yeah, and like Chelsea Perspective is saying, he's basically echoing what me and Gigi have been saying, and we can still win the Champions League, because we can still win a lot of trophies. I mean, we could have our own quadruple, even though it's probably not really being thought of by a lot of people, because they'll be concerned about will our attack be good enough? We'll be able to do what we need to do. It all comes down to what happens, because the season is basically over in probably 8 to 9 weeks. But I mean, we can still do things, and we can still do well. Yeah, and Chelsea perspective is basically big enough Trajic TV as well. Yeah, I would just quickly want to move over to the other section of what I want to speak about, which is another issue, and I think it's probably one of the most common ones, and I think this is something that I think really a lot of people have been thinking about and considering. Lukaku, was Lukaku really a player that Tuchel wanted? Was he forced to add him into his plans when he wanted other players? Is it a case where he was brought in because the board wasn't able to do things that was necessary? Obviously, we know that we signed Lukaku in August, but do you think that Tuchel just accepted it based on his previous record? He didn't want to follow with the board because any controversy, and he just said, you know what, Lukaku is doing well. He's scoring goals. He was the second top goal scorer in Serie A. So I guess he could probably do it, and I probably can find some way to add him into my plans. But do you think that there was a board pull, the power pull there, where the board gave him Lukaku when he wanted somebody else?
I think for me, Ty, I think we both know, and I think majority of Chelsea fans know out there, Lukaku was not a Thomas Tuchel signing. I know people are coming out and saying he said otherwise. I think we all know from the beginning of the season when Chelsea were actually chasing players for that striker position, we all know Erling Haaland was Chelsea's number one choice. He was not just a fan's choice. He was obviously Thomas Tuchel's first choice. I will even admit that as a Chelsea fan. I wanted him over Lukaku. I always said Lukaku to me will always be second choice. But the board, I think, have gone and put this signing to Thomas Tuchel, and obviously, he looks like he was the only player we were bringing in, and I think that because he was supposed to be the missing jigsaw piece puzzle, if you like, to get us to where we want to go in terms of challenging for the Premiership. But we've all seen since then it started well for him. He came in, he started scoring some goals. He then got that bad injury. And then when he had that bad injury, we all know what happened with that interview. The team was still winning games without him in the team. I think we scored in that time when he wasn't in the team, you can correct me if I'm wrong here from a stat, we either scored 26 or 28 goals without Lukaku in the team when he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And we were winning those games effectively as well. So, is Lukaku a problem? Is a question as well. I think since his whole issues come out, I think he is. But look, there's nothing we can say or do about it now. We've got until the end of the season. But what it does do is, we have seen in recent weeks, it has hindered the chances for Kai Havertz to start on a regular basis. And I think when Kai Havertz was actually in the team, during that time period when he was out, we were scoring goals and winning games effectively as well. So, there is a bit of a situation there. Is Thomas Tuchel the manager to try and sort it out? I think he is. I think he's trying to get the best out of Lukaku. But Lukaku's also got to do it for himself, mate. It's not just about the team, getting the goals, passing the ball to him, crossing it for him to set up the play for him. He's also got to do it for himself as well. If people make the comparisons, and he's making the comparison himself to Didier Drogba. I think what we've got to realise with Didier Drogba, he's nowhere near the player Didier Drogba was, because if everyone knows here, and Chelsea fans know that Didier Drogba was a guy who used to get chances for himself, and he used to also play with the team as well. And that's the kind of, whereas Lukaku just seems to be relying on service from the players around him. And I feel he needs to improve on that. I think we were all told when he came back to Chelsea, we're getting the final player. He's got everything going. His movement, his holding of play is improved. His goals scored. He may have scored on goals in Serie A, but I've looked at him and I still see him the same play he was at Manchester United. He was, scoring goals but not effective. And I think it's the same situation. But as I keep saying, I'm not going to moan and complain about him. We've got him till the end of the season, and we can hope that he can improve. And I hope he can do, for his sake.
Yeah, that's true. And I just want to add this to what Cho's perspective is saying, and he's saying that you're basically correct. And we did do better because obviously when you have a striker, you know that you're gonna have to involve him. But when you're playing with a false nine, it means that, and I forgot to add something right there. When you have a striker, the defenders of your opponents, they're going to be marking him. They're going to know that if they if they stop that focal point, they're going to be able to stop any build-up that you're planning to have. But when you have a false nine type of system, you're having a Mason Mount drift into play as a right forward. You have a Callum who's playing as a second left wing back, or he's playing as a left forward, and you have a Kai Havertz playing that false nine role. It's going to be difficult because they're going to be switching positions. You see Havertz on the left, you see Mount coming in, you see Rich James playing as a more in a more advanced position. So it's difficult for you to really mark, because if you mark one player, another player is going to be coming in. But when you have a striker, it's easier for you to say, if I stop him, they won't be able to pass it to him, and he won't be as deadly if we're marking him. And that's exactly what a lot of defenders have been doing, and they've been closing down him. And it's pretty unfortunate when I think about it. You have defenders that were basically getting the better of him. They're preventing him from jumping, or I would say they're preventing him. I'm not sure if he's trying to jump or if he's trying at all, because you can tell based on his body movement and everything, and that he doesn't look interested. It looks like he's disinterested, like he's somewhere he doesn't want to be, and he's barely trying. And I mean, Palmas-Nadoi and him have some type of chemistry where they tend to do things. They tend to communicate with each other, try to say cross the ball to me, and I'll try to score a header. And over time, we have seen that connection has become something positive. But like you said, and like To's perspective is agreeing here, we did play well, because I mean, we scored 7 goals without Lukaku or Werner. And I mean, it's not to take a dig at Werner, because obviously Werner, and this is something that I find so funny. Werner can basically say that he offers more than Lukaku, because even though Werner isn't scoring goals, he tends to create for his teammates. He created chances for Ziyech in the Champions League. He finished a chance that Havertz hit the bar and he headed into the goal against Real Madrid. So he did things that, even though he's not scoring goals consistently, his movement, his passing ability, he's doing the things to help the team. And Lukaku isn't doing that. He's staying as a goal hanger, as people tend to say. He's trying to just rely on the ball coming to his feet and then trying to score. But I mean, this is something I think people have been speaking about as well. And it's a case where you're saying that he's not being found. But for me, it's similar to what's happening with Werner. People are not going to be passing to you if they're not confident you're going to finish the chance. And I mean, for me, when people were not passing to Werner, I did complain about it. But I mean, when Werner didn't get the ball, he wasn't scoring. So I don't know if it was a case where they weren't confident. But I mean, sometimes the decision making in the midfield is pretty poor, because I mean, so some instances I can understand. Lukaku's asking for the ball, Jorginho's passing the ball backwards. I can understand that. But if it's a case where he's asking for the ball and then his teammate takes a shot and the goalkeeper saves it, you're going to be seeing him saying, "Why did you not pass the ball to me?" When he's not trying to get the ball, he's not trying to open space for himself. But I mean, it's all over the place. And I quickly want to show what Trajic is saying. So to be fair, let me see. It's not loaded up for me yet. To be fair, that goal yesterday was because of Lukaku's shot. That was offside. I think the one you're talking about was when he's outside. But yeah, he was offside. But Ziyech should have gotten 2 goals. But obviously Lukaku kind of messed that up. But I mean, it is what it is. Like DJ said, we have him until the end of the season. He can still score goals. He can still get. He's in all competition. He's at 10 goals, I think. So obviously, he can still get to 20 at least in other competitions. But obviously, it's not realistic to think he's going to become the top goal scorer. That'd be unrealistic. But I think he can still become the top goal scorer for the club this season. So obviously, it's difficult to really think about, because Lukaku was doing perfectly fine. Then his interview came out, and for me, I think he's added pressure to himself, because obviously the price tag was already pressure enough to say, is he going to be breaking the number 9 curse that Joseph have been having? But I mean, in the beginning, he looked like he was going to finally be the answer, but he didn't really live up to it, and then he faltered. Yeah, but oh yeah, Trajic. Yeah, no, sure, you can come on. The link is in the chat. I think I'm on StreamYard, so I can't really pin it. But yeah, you can come on if you want to. Yeah, you can come on. I'd love to have a non-Chelsea fans perspective, because obviously for Chelsea fans, sometimes they'll think emotionally, they'll think things. I want to see what people from the outside of think, what are their perspective and what do they think the issues are at Chelsea Football Club. So sure, I would love your opinion. I think the link is in the chat. If it's not there, I'll put it back in there again. But this is the link. I'm on streamer, like I said, so I'm not able to pin it to say that you can join here, but I mean, the link is right here, and it's also up at the top. So if it's there, possibly. I think Chelsea's perspective. If Chelsea's perspective is still here, I think he's allowed to pin the comment. So if he sees it, I would ask if he could pin it for me, because I really can't really do it myself because I'm in streamer. Very funny Chelsea perspective. You're funny. Yeah, because I said Chelsea perspective and a different perspective. But Trajic is here. That was very quick. So welcome to the
big up, Trajic. Big up.
Thank you for having me on. How's it going? Hello?
Oh, yeah. I can hear you now. I wasn't hearing you before.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on this aspect?
On the Lukaku aspect?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think the guy is a bad striker in my opinion. Like I saw how he played in Inter Milan. It wasn't very bad. I just think that Premier League defenders really lock the striker down better, and they really make sure that those lob passes aren't pinpoint to the striker. And you can see how, I mean, if you compare how he's getting the ball in the Premier League to how he was getting the ball in Serie A, there's a big difference. You know, he doesn't really get a lot of service at Chelsea in the Premier League, but of course, that striker, he has to also work. You know, he can't just expect passes all the time. He has to work to get that ball, to link play. Also, a dive deep to get the ball, maybe score an outside goal. You know, it's not always gonna have to be a tap-in.
Yeah. You want to say something?
I mean, what you were just... Yeah, I was just going to say what Trajic was saying about Lukaku. I mean, look, I think with me, Trajic, I think, as I said, I'm going to probably give him. Obviously, we're going to give him till. He's got till the end of the season for me to prove himself, and I still think he's probably going to even get next season as well, to prove himself as well. But I think what's disappointing me is with him at this moment in time is, you mentioned Inter Milan there, which was a valid point. We saw the goals he was scoring and how he was getting his goals. But however, you know, people will talk about saying Martinez was his feeder all the time when he was getting goals. I didn't ever think he worked hard enough in that Inter Milan team for himself to get the goals for himself. He was feeding off other players to do it. Whereas at Chelsea, it's a completely different ball game for me. And also it's the Premiership as well, where you know it all works with all teams. You see it with your team, your club. You see it with all the top clubs here. It's not just about one player scoring you the goals. It's an all-round game generally. And I personally don't think, for me, sometimes he does enough in that team, you know, working hard for himself to get the goals. He just relies too much on people passing the ball to him. Whereas when we had Drogba in the past, and I'm sorry I keep mentioning Drogba's name, because Drogba for me was one of my favourite players at Chelsea to ever wear the shirt and do the business. He not only used to work for the team, but he used to also rely off service from the other players around him. But he used to also work for himself to get the goals, to score the goals. Whereas I think Lukaku doesn't do that as much, and maybe that will come in time. This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be knocking him too much. Maybe he needs to add that to his game a little bit. But I guess as a Chelsea fan, I'm hearing when we signed him back from Inter Milan, we were signing the player that had everything. He was holding up the ball, learning how to do things for himself. But I've not seen any of that for me. I mean, he started off well, as Ty's pointed out, and you know, he started off well, but he's kind of like dropped down a little bit. And you know, and that interview just didn't help either, which kind of makes it worse for him. But as I said, I still think he can still do it, but he needs to sometimes work for himself, as Thomas Tuchel's pointed out as well in the team.
That's 100% true. Because you know, and this is something funny. I can remember when I can remember ex-players saying that yeah, sorry about that. I was interrupted a while ago. My bad. So I was saying I can remember strikers saying that we're getting a good striker. We're getting somebody who's going to be adding to Chelsea's triumph and their push to win the Premier League. For me personally, from the very beginning, I never looked at it from the perspective that we're going to be winning the Premier League. I was saying it's going to take time because we still had players who needed improving on, because we had Alonso. Even though Alonso was in form at that time, we all know that on his day Alonso can be very slow. He can be easily beaten. So, and plus for Chilwell, I wanted us to get a player to compete with him consistently, because Chilwell also had his injury issues before he even came to Chelsea. We signed him when he was injured, in all fairness. So it took him time before we could even use him. So it's a case where I wanted us to have somebody to compete with him, because I think, in a sense, we needed somebody to really compete with him, so he wouldn't be too relaxed in that position, and then obviously he would always be on his toes, and that's what you see a lot of top teams do. And I don't like to really compare Chelsea to Man City, because Man City is Man City and Chelsea are Chelsea, but they have players like, you have Cancelo and you have a Walker, you have a Zinchenko, and before he went into whatever he did, he had many there as well. So obviously you had players there who would really compete with each other. So you'd always see a Cancelo putting in a 9 out of 10 performance, an 8 out of 10 performance, a 7 out of 10. But you don't really see that. So it's always, this player is doing good, and if something happens to him, we don't have anybody who's going to come in and say, I'm going to challenge this. I'm going to challenge this player. I'm going to give him a run for his money. I'm going to let him know that I am here and I will easily take his position. We don't really have that. And in the past, we had it, but now, obviously, those players are really difficult to find, because a lot of players, and I keep saying this, they care about being the most expensive player. They want to be earning the most money at the club. So obviously, over the years, things have changed. The mindset that players have, the attitude has changed. So obviously, I'm not surprised that that's the case. But the next thing I want to speak about is the board structure, and I want to speak about the fact that the board is more of a business-based one, because we barely have anybody on the board that actually has a deep connection with the sport. The only person that really gives anything, who cares about it in particular, is Petr, and that's because he used to be a player for Chelsea and a player who played football at a professional level. So I want to hear what you guys' thoughts on it, about what you think, because the board structure is one where it's business based, because you have Marina, she's the director, but she's business based. Bruce Buck, business based. He works at a level higher than Marina, so obviously she has to answer to him. So what do you think? Because it's basically a business based one.
Do you want me to answer that one first, or I'll give it to Trajic? Do you want me to answer that one first?
No, it's okay. DJ can go first.
All right.
Yes. Again, the board, very, very good discussion debate now. Yeah, you spot on what you just said there, Ty. We do have unfortunately we've got people at the board that are not at football level stages. Obviously, Petr gone in there now, but obviously he's the guy between the management and the players to the board. And whereas you've got Bruce Buckers, who works in O'Hara, I think he's more of a lawyer, if I'm correct, if I'm wrong. And then you've got obviously you've got Marina, who's in charge of all the day-to-day marketing, doing all the marketing stuff. I think getting all the deals done and dusted with. The one thing we lack, as you said, is the one thing we don't have is a sporting director. Now, when Roman Abramovich first started, I don't know if I can go back to the past when the club was run under Ken Bates. We had Colin Hutchinson, who used to do all our signings of players, and he was one of the directors at the football club. Then they brought in obviously when they left and Roman came in, they brought in Peter Kenyon, to come and do all that stuff. For me, in that kind of like way, that is what we're currently lacking at this moment in time. We're lacking that person as a director. And I do believe, from what I'm understanding, from what I'm reading, we are getting a new director in this summer. There's 2 names being mentioned. One of them I know is the ex-Barcelona director by the name of Ramon Planzis is one of them. And I do believe the old Liverpool director, who's going to be leaving his post at the end of the season, could be another one that's being looked at as well. So Roman is definitely doing things behind the scenes. We're trying to sort that all out. And I think that's going to be done and dusted within the summer. I think once we get that in, I think you'll see things happening more and more better for us. But at this moment in time, the board is a bit of a slight issue at the moment. But I'm sure once the director comes in place, we'll be okay.
Yeah, that's true. Trajic.
Yeah, I agree with DJ. I think that the board in the club is one of the focal points in the club. I think that if a board isn't passionate about the club, then ultimately you will have holes in the performances. Like, I don't want to bring up Manchester United because this is a Chelsea video, but
no, you can use examples. You can use examples.
Okay, sure, man. Cool. With United, our board is not passionate about the club. It's just a fact. It's like if you look at what the Glazers are doing, they're not managing the club passionately. They're not managing the club as if they were club fans since youth. And that's hindering us because we're not signing the right players, we're not signing the right managers, except for Ragnick. And it's just hindering our performances. And we should have gotten a CDM in the January window, and we haven't. And of course, that's showing because I guess McTowney's getting better, Fred is getting better, but we definitely need a backup CDM. Anyway, as I was saying, the board is a very big focal point in a club. And I'm not too up to date about the board for Chelsea, but it seems like the board definitely needs to hone their signings, definitely make better decisions for the club.
Yeah, and I really want to go back to a bit of what DJ was saying a while ago, and it also brings back to that report that Chelsea are going to be backing Tuchel. And I mean, if people have any if they have any doubts or if they have second thoughts about if that's going to happen, you can in a sense understand that there's some changes that's going to be happening, because if you're hearing that they're going to be getting a sporting director, an actual one, because I know people will say that sometimes I keep butchering his name, so I don't really want to say it, but Mikel Emiliano, I think I just butchered it again.
Emiliano.
Yeah, Emiliano. I'm not going to try, but
that's right.
With him, he plays some important role in where the club is. Obviously, before he left, we got Kante, and we got in certain people, and then Marina took up that role in 2016. But obviously, it's a case where we had certain issues with having no one really understanding from a sporting point of view that if you don't have certain players that actually have some similarity, so you can use one system and don't have to continuously switch one. And if you use this system, it gets the best out of this player, and then another player is being hampered any progression. And that's for example, you can use Hakim Ziyech, because we use a back three, we use a three at the back formation and a system, and we can't really use him there because he's not really given the space or the time to really do what he needs to do. And Chelsea perspective is saying another example, Hazard. So that's another person as well. So that's actually true. But what I was saying is that when you have a particular board that they don't understand that if you don't have persons that actually soothe that system, you're gonna continuously have to switch one. And like I was saying, Hakim Ziyech is really struggling when you're playing with a back three, because he doesn't have the space, he doesn't have the freedom to do what he's doing now. Because I'm pretty sure any fan that actually analyzes the game and analyzes the way that Ziyech has been playing comparing to now, they'll see that he looks he looks more confident. He seems to have more freedom. He's taking on more players. He's trying to win the ball better. He's trying to dribble. He's trying to make good crosses. He's making better decisions, know when to cross or when not to cross. So obviously there is progression. You can see that his momentum is improving. He's getting happier as well, because I can remember comparing to the way comparing to the Brighton game, he scored and he didn't really celebrate. Then he scored against Spurs, that massive and sublime strike that he scored. He smiled, and when he scored yesterday against Palace, he smiled, but that goal was offside, and then he scored again and he was celebrating, and you could see that there's some happiness, like he's finally found some rhythm to say that I'm happy here. I have no issues with the way I'm playing or with the formation. But I mean, he's a professional, and obviously he has had interviews where he says that he's trying to adjust to it, and obviously he isn't a false nine, so obviously he wouldn't really suit that role. But obviously, when you have a board that doesn't understand that you need to do certain things like that, it's going to affect the team long term. My bad again. I have to, communicate with my family back and forth. Obviously, I may have to meet sometimes, but yeah. So, do you have anything you have to say, or anything else that you need to say, DJ?
Regarding the whole board situation, or just in general? Yeah. Look, I think generally, we, as you've just said, we, this the thing about backing Thomas Tuchel. I think we've seen. Out of all the managers, I think that have come under the regime of Roman since he's taken over as manager, I think apart from Jose Mourinho the first time, you guys can maybe correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Ty. I think Thomas Tuchel is the next manager he's actually backed, and he's actually come out personally to back him as well. And I think a lot of people are saying that with the situation with him, that they thought he was going to be going and all this. But for me, look, the board. I think the board already know, regardless of what they try to do, there's no way Thomas Tuchel is going to go. And I think with this new director coming in place, I think he's just going to actually strengthen Thomas Tuchel, to be honest with you, because now he'll have that actual link of the plays that he wants to specifically go for, and the plays that we can actually go and target. And I'm going back to the times of actually going and not just doing it probably, but doing it globally like we used to do. So you go out to South America, you start to focus your checks on plays in Brazil, in Argentina, doing all your stuff like that, which we stopped doing for a little while. And I think now with this director coming in place, we're going to go back to that, and it's going to be under what Thomas Tuchel wants, which I think is great for him, generally for the club, for us as fans. Now we actually might have a manager finally that our club is going to back and the board are going to back. And maybe it could be good times just going forward from now on. Yeah.
I know. I keep looking to the side, but I'm still trying to organize the stream on YouTube, see if everything's going well. So sometimes I'll be looking to the left, or it'll probably be to the right for anybody based on the mirroring effect. But I'm ensuring that everything is fine. But if Chelsea perspective is still here, is everything fine? I just want to ensure that everything is fine. I'm not having any issues. But I 100% agree with what you're saying. And I mean, I really would agree that that Thomas Tuchel has been the only other manager that actually has gotten the backing necessarily by Roman and the hierarchy. But it's a case where he's done enough to deserve that trust and to really be given that backing, because I mean, for anybody who has actually followed the progress of Tuchel, they'll understand that Mainz, thanks Chelsea perspective. Yeah, but the situation is that Mainz, he took over after Klopp left, and then conveniently after he left Klopp left Dortmund, he went to Dortmund as well. Obviously, Klopp's achievements at those clubs will obviously it would highlight more than Tuchel, because Klopp won the Bundesliga with Dortmund. He obviously, people will give him the credit that thanks to him, Bayern Munich are really looking at the players from Dortmund. They're trying to reduce the players that can actually cause them a threat and reduce the strength that all the teams have in order to beat them. Obviously, we know that Bayern Munich are really falling to the teams that you shouldn't really be expecting them to. But obviously, every team has their off season, and obviously they're still top. But they haven't looked like the team that actually had that fear and intensity. Obviously, they had a switch of managers, so probably different system probably is affecting it. So I mean, if the managers are really good, the players really can't really be doing good consistently, because if you don't have a manager who's managing those players good, then you obviously going to have those issues. But he's done wonderful. He went to PSG, and obviously I keep saying this every time I have a stream, that Thomas Tuchel, he deserves a time. He deserves to be given enough time to really build something, build a dynasty, because he can actually do something. And I mean, he's proven it. And I mean, this one thing I've noticed with Tuchel is that no matter what team he goes to, he always wants to stay there long term and build something. But obviously, we know that his disagreements with the board, falling out with the hierarchy, it really has, hampered that opportunity to really build something at teams. I mean, PSG haven't really looked the same after he left, but obviously we know that it tends to happen. But I mean, Tuchel really did a lot of good things wherever he went. Correction. So I mean, it's good to know that we've gotten a manager at the right time. Obviously, for me, it's I'm a Chelsea fan, and obviously I'll have some sentiment. I really wish it wasn't after Lampard, because Lampard being sacked and then we find the quote-unquote the right one. So I feel like it's pretty harsh on Lampard that we found one who can actually build something right after the club legend and everything. But obviously, I don't really let sentiment get the best of me, because obviously at the end of the day, the club comes first, and before Lampard, we were winning things. So I mean, it isn't really that big, because he became a legend, and obviously I can never take that legendary status away from him, because he's a legend. He's the top goal scorer after all. So obviously I can't say that he's good, but I mean, it is what it is, and I feel like I'm starting to just speak nonsense now. So I think I'm probably gonna to switch to something else now.
All right.
You know what? Actually, the sporting director thing. I think we probably should dig deeper into that. I think the sporting director situation. So, who wants to start speaking about it? Because I think the sporting director thing, I think it deserves some more light. Actually,
I've spoken. I'll let Trajic talk, because I've spoken already. I'm sure Trajic might want to get a word in now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about Chelsea sporting directory, I'm not very educated on it, so I think I'll just be blabbering about nonsense.
Okay. In terms of the sporting director, as I said, there's two that have actually been mentioned. I do believe it's, as I said, the name of I think it's Ramos. Is it Ramos? Pulisic,
I think it's
something like that. Ramon Pulisic,
Spanish.
Ex-sporting director of Barcelona.
Yeah, it's Spanish. I really don't want to say it's this, but it's I think it's Ramon. Ramon. I really don't know.
Ramon Pulisic.
Yeah, it's Ramon. Pulisic. Yeah.
Yeah. I know he was a director. I was just looking at his thing the other day. He looks like he's had quite a lot of football clubs, and I do believe Tottenham was one of his football clubs that he had before. And I think one of the things that he brought up with the Tottenham ones, he was the one who brought Dele Alli to Tottenham. He's the one who actually brought him in, and we all saw how well Dele Alli's career started at Tottenham, and all of a sudden he's allowed himself to drift, and it's kind of like gone wrong. But then he was also the guy when he was at Barcelona to give the likes of Javi and who's the other new kid that's come in at Barcelona. I forget his name.
Ansu Fati.
Fati. It might, yeah. they're the other two kids that he's brought through while he was there. So this guy seems to know what he's doing. I know he's had a lot of football clubs previously to Barcelona. I think if he was to come in at Chelsea, would that be a good move? I mean, obviously Roman is personally, I'm understanding, is gone and wanting to bring this guy in, so he must be thinking highly of him. But I think out of the two directors, the other one, as I said, has been mentioned, is the one from Liverpool who's leaving his post at the end of the season. Is it? I forget his name. He's supposed to be
Edwards. I hope I'm not messing it up.
I think it is Edwards, yes. And
yeah,
I think he's the guy. Edwards. Yeah, he's the guy I think out the two that I would say to go for, because he's bought. I think if you think about the players they've got in Salah, he was a guy that was brought with the Mane deal. He bought a lot of those. I think Firmino as well. So this guy knows his stuff. So if we can bring this guy in at Chelsea, I think another director would actually help the club a long way. And as I said, we need to go back to scouting, because I think this Scott McLagan at Chelsea at this moment for me is just not doing the business. I mean, when you got someone who's apparently gone and scouted Staunigaz for 2 years, and this guy's been around for more longer than that, it makes you wonder where scouting team was actually going. Do you get me?
Yeah, so, I think DJs is having some issues. Yeah.
I think
I think DJ is having issues.
Did you guys get me?
Yeah.
Hello? Am I here?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but if you said anything before, we weren't able to hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, well, it looks like you're not hearing us. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, he's gone. But yeah, it's like we were saying, Michael Edwards. Yeah, that I checked it. Yeah, that's exactly him. So so they confirmed that he's going to be leaving. So those are one of the two sporting directors that's been linked. Obviously, you've had other fans that actually wanted us to try to get Mikel Emiliano back. So obviously there's that. But I actually want to move on to something else and speak about another larger issue that I think is at the club, and I think it's player power. I think the freedom that players have to really go and do things. And I mean, in all fairness, they're human beings. Obviously, they'll be able to do things because that's their right. But I mean, I think there's a lot of player power, a lot of demanding of what I want to see done, and I am this, and I want to be earning this, and I want to be able to do whatever I want to do. So, player power is another issue I think is in, and not only at Chelsea, it's at Man United, for example. I can basically say that because, for example, you can speak of Maguire and Ronaldo. Players who have big egos, but I mean, there's a lot of ego issues, in particular at Chelsea, and I think the most common one is Lukaku. Lukaku obviously has proven that he can be a big ego. He can believe that things should be around him, and if it's not my way, it can't be your way. It has to be my way. So obviously, that attitude is thinking of the place, if you can say that, because his attitude isn't one that is really respected. It's not helpful to the team, because obviously we could see that affected the team's morale, because the performance dropped. They've lost trust in him. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I can understand. I'm having the exact same issue where I am as well. So I can understand that, DJ. No worries. So if you're able to come on, that's fine. But if you can't, I completely understand. But so I know that you're not a Chelsea fan, Trajic TV. But what would you say based on what you've seen from Lukaku? Do you think there's any hints that there's some player power he's trying to pull, or the ego because of his price tag and what he achieved before?
Yeah, I definitely see some problems with player power in regards to Lukaku. Yeah, just like, with the interviews, throwing people under the bus, throwing the manager under the bus. It's like, yeah, like, dude, that wouldn't have happened in any club, like, say 10 years, 12 years ago. And I'm glad that the board, the manager, Tuchel, and also the fans got on Lukaku's case and got that underway. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, with player power, that's ultimately the board's problem. Like, they're the ones who have to really get that fixed, like cutting their wages down, I guess putting them on the bench for a while, for a few games, like really grounding them so that they understand that you're playing for a club. You're not the one that comes first. And yeah, I can attribute that very well to Man United. I mean, I think our problem is way worse than you guys. I mean, Maguire, I guess Rashford as well, Ronaldo in some cases. A lot of players, also Shaw, a lot of players, like, they have this immense player power over the board, and it's been very bad this past 10 years, ever since Alex Ferguson left. And just, it's accumulated, and up until Ragnar came, and now he has to fix it all, and it's going to be very hard. But yeah, I mean, I just think that Lukaku in this case needs to be really grounded, and he needs to be taught that you're playing for Chelsea FC, one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League and also in the entire world. And yeah, you need to be respectful, and you need to do your job. Because actually, what is Lukaku's wage nowadays?
I think it's nearly 400,000 a week.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that's more than Ronaldo's. And if you want to compare performances, I guess Ronaldo is doing a bit better now. But yeah, that. I guess, to be honest, I think a wage cut these days is really going to ground these players, because if they're not receiving the money, they're going to perform better. And yeah, I think the best way is to cut his wages so he really ups his performance. Because I think that he can't up his performance. I see potential, even though he's getting pretty old. I see more potential in the guy. I think that his whole demeanor is very dominant, and he can just dominate defenders, even if it's the Premier League. As long as he has just got that good touch, and he just keeps the ball, I think he can do very good at Chelsea and the Premier League. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you said, because I actually checked it to ensure that I'm not speaking false information and not giving false information. Yeah, it's nearly 400,000. It's 325,000 a week to be specific, and he's currently earning more than N'Golo Kante and Werner. A lot of people probably said at that time, they said it's understandable that he's going to be earning more than Werner. But I mean, for now, people might say that we're paying that much. So obviously, even if he doesn't have any interest anymore, because basically, I know a lot of fans will look at it as he didn't want to come to Chelsea in the first place. Because Inter had their financial problems, he said, you know what, damn, I need to go somewhere else. This team is interested. This team might be interested. So let me see if I can probably get them, and that's probably Barcelona or Real Madrid. And then you see, oh, Chelsea. Yeah, it didn't work out for me there in the first place. Maybe I can go back there. But I think, when I saw that interview that he made, it really was painful for me, because I sometimes I question why did I buy into everything he was saying in this exclusive interview for Chelsea. He kept saying that he has unfinished business at the club. He's come back here to finish what he started, and I don't know why. Because to me, and when he said it at the time, I was thinking of it. No, that seemed too good to be true. It's like he's saying the right things, and I mean, a lot of players have said the right things, and then they've never lived up to that standard. It's always the ones that are quiet and they don't really say I'm going to be doing this and I'm here to win trophies and things like that. Obviously, they will say that I've come here to win trophies and things like that. That's understandable, because when you come to a club that is as big as Chelsea, that should be one of your goals. Win trophies, win the most industrial trophies, try to win the Premier League with them, win the domestic league. So I can understand that. But when I was watching that interview, I felt like parts of it was too good to be true. And I always asked myself, why did I believe it? Why did I buy into what he was saying? Because it just seems like it is what it is. Yeah. It's like Chelsea's perspective is saying, Inter wanted to keep him as well, but because of the financial issues, they I think that in the summer it was, the narrative was they would either have to sell Lautaro Martinez or Lukaku, or probably both, to reduce the issues that they're having financially. But no, I know for a fact, even though for me, I really don't like to go back into the past, but he did that interview. I don't know what he thought was going to come out of it, disrespecting one. And then, I mean, I think for Inter fans, it's the fact that he at the time, earlier, after the Euros and everything, he had paid a promise that he's not leaving. He's here to stay and things like that. And then he just left in August. So I think that probably for me, I don't really want to find excuses for him. But I think at the time, his intention was to really apologize to Inter fans, to let them know that maybe he didn't want to leave the way he did. But the way he went about doing it behind the club's back, I don't think that was the right thing to do. Because I think if he had gone to the PRs and say, I want to have a public apology to Inter fans, to explain to them that I didn't want to leave the way I did, I think the reaction to the interview would have been completely different from Chelsea fans, because I think Inter fans from the very beginning showed that they didn't want him back. And I don't know what it is in Italian, what they made a banner and say that something about they made some analogy about, it's not about, I don't know what they said. They said something about, it's not about, I honestly can't remember at the moment, but if anybody who's watching this remember what it says, or probably can paraphrase what was said, obviously they made it pretty clear. They ensured that when they said it, there was no way of him thinking that there was hope for him, but they made it 100% clear that they don't want him back. So I don't know what he was thinking was going to come out of it, because I think, in a sense, why did he do it? Because he already caused an issue, and then by throwing one club under the bus, he was hoping to get the forgiveness of another club. I honestly don't understand what he was planning to do, but I mean, for me, I think a lot of YouTubers and content creators have been saying that he made his apology, he's seeing PR, because I think, for me personally, I think it was PR. I think it was planned, because the interviewer was asking him questions that looked like they were discussing it before, and said, I'm going to ask you this question, so you must give this response and things like that. But I mean, comparing to the way he was in that interview to the way he was when he was speaking to the interviewer for Chelsea, he seemed like he was tense. His body language was like, I'm being forced to do this. I don't want to be doing this. Mm-hmm. But when in the Sky Italia interview, he was relaxed. He had his hand up like this, and he was relaxing. He was like he was talking to a friend, talking about life, and he was still relaxed. But I mean, when he was speaking to the interviewer for Chelsea, he looked tense, like he was trying to give eye contact whenever he would look away and then look back, and then at one point he was laughing too. So for me, it was really upsetting. But I mean, fans said they wanted an apology from him, a public one, so they got it. Whether or not they think it's a PR, it's an apology. But I think the real apology should have come on the pitch, and at the moment, he isn't really asking for forgiveness to say, you know what, I don't know if it's a mistake, because I think mistakes are when you do things unintentionally, and he intended to do that interview. And I mean, I don't know, man. Sometimes I wonder if he's actually 28 or if he's 14 or 12, because he seems immature. And going back, I don't really want to speak too much on it, because when I think back about it, it really makes me upset. It makes me angry, because what was he planning to do? what was he planning to do by saying that the manager has decided to play a different system, but I have to be professional? What was he thinking was going to come out of it? Doesn't he know that a lot of interpretation would have happened? People would have thought about it totally different to say that, oh, he thinks that Tuchel is not playing to his strengths. He's doing this. And I mean, conveniently enough, Antonio Conte said that Tuchel doesn't know to use the cap. When I know a lot of fans right now will say that, for those who still have hope in him, and I still have hope that Lukaku can still come good, because I mean, he's a top player. I wouldn't say he's a top player, but he's a top player because he can score goals. He can be clinical. But I really don't know, man. He sold the club false hope. His friends, Jogba in particular, was saying that he thinks he will come good. But I mean, the friends, obviously, you're going to be rooting for your friend to really get the respect back that he lost. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think I've been speaking about this interview for too long, and every time it brings me back, to that day when I was on Twitter and I just saw that the report from Matt Lowe and Fabrizio Romano speaking about it. It just brings back that anger. But DJ Sav is saying that his Wi-Fi is still down. He said that he'll try to jump on, but strange if Inter was so keen to keep Lukaku. Why did they not try and sell Martinez? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. What do you think, Trajic?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's all PR. The way not managers. Player managers, how they spin PR into the convenience of the player. Like, that's big. And plus, like they said that Barca or Real would have signed him. Like, I'm a Real Madrid fan as well. In my opinion, Real Madrid would have not got Lukaku. He would have not fit in Carlo Ancelotti's system at all. We really play with a working center. Actually, yeah, center forward. We don't play with a striker. We play with a center forward. Karim Benzema is a center forward. So he would have not been signed by Carlo. He would have not wanted Lukaku. I'm not completely sure about Barca, but I don't think he would have been good in Barca as well. They don't use Lukaku's system as well. But with Inter, I mean, I did see I saw an interview, or not an interview, but I saw a comment from the Inter Milan manager saying that he doesn't care at all that he sold Lukaku, and that he actually made a profit off of getting rid of Lukaku and started signing another player. So it just seems like Lukaku is a bit of a hindrance for clubs, and really that player power, that mentality that he has really gotten himself in this position. Because as you said, like when he talked about the what do you say? Oh yeah, like how I can't fit in the system, but what can I do? I have to play. Well, that's that mentality that he has. It's like, yeah, dude, you do have to. I mean, it's not a choice. Like, you can't just tell the manager, "Oh, play me in this or that position, or play me in this system because it doesn't suit me." You can't just do that. He's not the club. As big as he is, he's not bigger than the club, right?
Yeah, that's true. And what his perspective is saying that, it's possible. I think I honestly what Trajic just said. I think it's a case because I think in a sense, I think he said this at a point that he when they went to speak to the club about getting an extension, he was disappointed to hear that they didn't want to extend, and they couldn't offer him a contract because of the financial issue. So, and what you said about them saying they actually made a profit off Lukaku, that is true, because I think they sold Lukaku for more than they bought him actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So obviously it was a big profit for them. So even though, I mean, I didn't know how to pronounce the striker that they brought in. I think Zeko.
Actually, let me check that out.
I think it's probably Zeko, you know. But yeah, you know, he's scoring for them. But obviously in the Champions League, he isn't really living up to what they want him to do. But I mean, you know, with that striker, Martinez really has falling off. This season, he hasn't really been scoring goals for them as much as he used to. But I mean, Zeko has been scoring for them. The goals have been coming on the midfield as usual. Still, Vidal, players like that, and you know, I think you know it's all over the place because I think you know they probably just didn't want to. I think they didn't want to lose him, but at the same time, they saw it as an opportunity to get a profit, reduce their financial issues, and then you know probably try to get a striker after that.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. His name is Edin Dzeko. He came from Roma. Yep.
Yeah.
Just I think. Listen, the Lukaku situation. He has no backing right now from anyone else. Like he just has to fix himself to get out of this rut he's in because no one else is going to get him out of this rut because he's 113 million. I think that's what it says. Yeah. A $13 million signing. He's not doing good, and he also has high wages. So he just has to perform better, and that's up to him.
Are you still there? I think I lost connection a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I lost connection.
Hello?
Yeah. I can hear you.
All right. Yeah.
I'm having similar issues to DJ as well. I'm having some windy climate as well, so it's a bit difficult as well. But I mean, it's true, and I really want to move quickly onto another quick topic, and it's a discussion on Thomas Tuchel versus Lukaku. Obviously, there's this narrative that the situation with the interview and everything, it wasn't really resolved, but to the media was told that it has been resolved, but there are still underlying issues that's going on between Thomas Tuchel and Lukaku. And this is why I really wish I had somebody else on, because you're giving your standpoint, you're giving your view, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have somebody who actually wanted to see Lukaku come to the club, and I probably just accepted him rather, because I don't think any Chelsea fan wanted Lukaku as their first choice. Haaland was the clear choice for a lot of people. I was 50-50 when it came out to Haaland, because I was saying he's going to be expensive. What if he doesn't live up to it? It's the Bundesliga. We've seen what happened with Werner. Obviously, he does offer other things. He does offer things that Lukaku should be offering as a striker. But I mean, I was still looking at this. It's the Bundesliga. The defense isn't really good. It's easier to score goals in the Bundesliga. That was my standpoint. So I was 50-50 when he came onto Haaland, but if Haaland came out, I would support the player because he's our player from a Chelsea fan perspective. So I mean, I would have to back him because he's our player and trust him and hope that he comes good. But I mean, I want to have a discussion on Thomas Tuchel versus Lukaku. So Trajic, if you want to say your thoughts on it, that'd be nice. Chelsea perspective, if you're free, it would be nice to have you on, because it's sometimes I'm not really paying attention to the chat, so he may say something and I may not see because it may get skipped. So if you're free to come on, that'd be nice. But Trajic, what would your thoughts be on it?
It's I've seen a lot of stories coming out that Tuchel's like, oh well, don't blame my system, blame Lukaku and all that. I don't think he'll say something like that. Someone like Kante would say that, not Tuchel. It just doesn't sound right. I mean, of course, he can think that internally, and he'll be correct, but he wouldn't say that out loud, saying, "No, look, don't blame my system. I'm always correct. Lukaku is the one that's hindering us." And yeah, there is a lot of PR that spins stuff. You know, that's always been there, even disregarding football. PR from media always spins stories to, of course, to push a narrative. And I think that, you know, when you guys were going on a losing streak, I saw a lot of fans, Chelsea fans, saying, "Oh, sack Tuchel. He's not the right person." And that was ridiculous. Like a lot of people were like, "Oh, Tuchel out. He's gonna go to United. Bring someone else in." And yeah, that was ridiculous because he's doing his best, and obviously he's getting results. Just the players are the ones that are just not are failing him, and failing the club. And that one player is also Lukaku. So yeah, I think in a war, especially now, we don't know what will happen in a week, but especially now, Tuchel will win the war against Lukaku because I think he has the fans backing right now, and I think the fans understand that Lukaku, you know, he's the one who's a bit of a mold in the club.
Yeah, and something he said about that's not his personality. That isn't a personality where he's gonna be coming out and say this Lukaku is this or Lukaku that. I know an interesting thing is he has a degree in psychology. I can't speak. What is wrong with me today? Psychology. So obviously he's gonna have that that attribute where he knows that he can say certain things. He can't do certain things because he has that degree. So obviously, he has that type of management, that player management situations, and he understands the management. That when you go to the media, you have to be careful. You have to speak in little words because the media tend to make a story out of nothing. So he has to ensure that what he says, there can't be any other room for any other interpretation about what he's saying, and what he's saying is that's what he means, and there's nothing else. But obviously, I think that there's something else. I don't think it's fully resolved because we don't know what happened in their meeting. We don't know if all people. There are reports saying that there was one that was heated, and the rest were just relaxed. But we don't know if that was true or not, because even the sources that are saying that their sources into the club, that source could be telling lies. They don't know, because I always found it weird. How do you know what's going on between them when they're having a private meeting? And I've never understood that. How they're having a private meeting, everybody else is isolated. How do you know that this and this is happening? Unless, in that sense, I will hear you probably hearing shouting or things like that. But how do you know that these two people are discussing this, and you have everybody else that are supposed to be isolated or away from you or doing other things? I've never understood that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, dude, a lot of leaking has been happening with clubs or top clubs in the Prem right now. Like, how can someone speak to someone in private, but yet we know what they're talking about? It's like, it doesn't make logical sense. So it's either two things. It's either the media is lying, or whoever is so-called leaking the conversations are lying, or someone in the conversation is leaking stuff, or someone around them. You know, maybe it's not even a private conversation. So yeah.
Okay, I think DJ is back. I don't know if it's work, but I'm gonna put him in and see what happens. DJ, you're back in. Let's see if everything's all right. DJ? Yeah, I think he's still having issues. Yeah, he's still having issues, but I'm gonna mute him for a while, then I'll see if everything will be alright then. But yeah, like you said, Tragic. I've always found it weird that, and I've always shared that standpoint. Is it a case where their source is telling lies to make a story and to help them make a story, or is it just a case where they're maybe the situation is that their sources are telling them something and they're adding to it. I don't know, man. But I've always found it weird that out of the blue they just know, no pun intended, that that this is happening, and in their conversation, it's getting heated. I've never understood that. DJ? DJ? Nope. Still nothing. But yeah, I've always found it weird. I think Chelsea's perspective isn't in the chat anymore because I sent something to him and I didn't see any response. But yeah, when it comes on to that, he's and DJ is gone now. But when it comes on to that, I still feel like there's something going wrong. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to find some understanding, but I haven't really found a way to understand what is necessarily there. Because obviously there has to be something wrong. It can't be a case where they had a conversation and whenever he's asked, it's a case where he says that he doesn't want to speak too much on it because he'd like to speak in few words. Currently, he's frustrated because, like the interview I was showing at the beginning of the stream, whenever they were asking about Lukaku, he said he was frustrated. He can say that he's trying everything. He's basically saying I'm trying everything. It's still not working. I don't really know what to do, but it's not the system because everybody else is thriving in the system. Only Lukaku isn't thriving. So you just can't understand. You can't really know what's going on because it to me it really does make sense to why everybody else is doing fine and he isn't. So I don't know, man. It's very strange to understand.
Yeah, I mean, dude, fitting Lukaku in Chelsea right now is like fitting a square in a circle hole. Like it's like, I mean, it's not necessarily like performance-wise. It's not necessarily Lukaku's fault, nor is it Chelsea's fault. They don't bond right now. And just you were talking about Haaland earlier, and I just wanted to interject about him. I honestly don't think Haaland will work well for Chelsea because Haaland is more like a through ball attacker. Like he runs into through balls, and you guys don't really play like that. To be honest, I haven't really seen Chelsea really attack with through balls from the center possession. And yeah, I might be completely wrong. Maybe Haaland will literally just completely change his entire attack plan because he is a robot. But yeah, I think that the Chelsea plan is very specific, and it needs a very specific striker for its role, the striking role.
Yeah, DJ.
Yo, you guys can hear me now?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent, brilliant. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts on the topic?
What mate? On Thomas Tuchel versus Lukaku situation.
Yeah, it's in quotations because I don't want to say that something's happening and it's not happening. So I put it in quotations.
Yeah, I think I said it I said it in the beginning of the stream, bro. But I forgot to say earlier on, by the way, Ty, congratulations on your 100K, by the way, your 100 followers. I forgot to say that earlier on, man. Congrats on that. Yeah. On the Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel, listen, they are playing it for the sake of the football club. I think they're playing it easy at this moment in time. They have to obviously coexist because obviously he's working still under him. I still think he knows he's still done. I still think he knows the fans have not fully forgiven him as well. I think Thomas Tuchel is just trying to get on with his job for now. Trying to get the best out of him till the end, as I said, till the summer when the transfer window reopens again. I still think, he's probably going to stay beyond the summer. I think if he hasn't got an improvement by the start of the new season, I think you'll see January time Chelsea may look at the situation again. I might be wrong because I'm hearing a lot of talk now that a lot of things have been going around that Harry Kane is again back on Manchester City's and Manchester United's wish list again for the summer. So if Harry Kane does decide to make this move to either United or Manchester City, there could be a possibility of a reunion between Lukaku and Kante at Tottenham if he's still Tottenham manager come the end of the season. So that could still happen. But let's see how it all goes. I think if Lukaku is the serious problem there, and he's the one that could lose Thomas Tuchel his job, because in the past, I heard you guys talking earlier on about player power. Player power for me has gone from Chelsea for a while. It's gone since the days of Lampard, Terry, Drogba. I think since then it's not really been that effective. I think managers have just lost their jobs because they've just not some of the players due to some of the tactics that some of the managers do. But with the Thomas Tuchel situation, I don't think the players are actually against what Thomas Tuchel is doing, apart from maybe Lukaku. I think all the other players around are comfortable playing in what he wants them to do. It's just Lukaku, I think, is the main concern. I think if he continues to be the main issue come the start of the transfer window in the summer, we could still see movement with him going to Tottenham. There's also Newcastle. Let's not forget about them if they stay up, because they're willing. I'm sure they'll be able to offer that money to him, bro. I'm sorry, I know you've got a bit of Newcastle in you there, mate. And PSG could be another one that could be looking at him as well, bro. So there's still that situation as well. But in this moment in time, I doubt he'll go anywhere at this moment in time.
Yeah. And I just shared my direct message that you sent something, and yeah, that's very good news. Yeah, Mason Mount is on the mend, so that's wonderful. That's good news, because we need his presence in the team. I mean, we can survive without him, but I mean, we need to be able to make subs, because without him, we have to be picking and choosing who should be playing, who should not be playing. So with him, even though that's not his natural position, he's actually more of an 8. I don't know. I think we do need him to be in the team again, because there's an issue without him being there, because we need somebody. And I think what he would have been a bit more helpful when it comes down to finishing chances yesterday. Well, obviously, we have to make do with what we had, and I mean, Ziyech did quite well. And I mean, I keep going back to speaking about Ziyech, but I mean, Ziyech has really had a breath of fresh air, and I'm really happy for him. I really am, because I have this video on my channel speaking about consistency in the fan base, and I mean, you know this. I don't know if I think the both of you will know this. That Green Turf uses this analogy, flip flop FC. So it's flip flop. So if you're being good, you're like, oh my gosh, he's doing well. He's the next Willian. He's gonna do better than Willian. Things like that. And then as soon as he does, but it's like, this is why I didn't even want him at the club, or things like that. And they'll just change their attitude. And then when he comes good again, it's like, I never lost hope in him. He's coming back good again. That's just it. But for me, I've always said, and when I used to go on other people's streams, I'd always say that Hakim Ziyech is not playing in a position that he's used to. If you give him the time, if you give him a run of game, because Kai Havertz and Havertz, that makes no sense. Kai Havertz and Ziyech are two players who never really got a run of games to prove themselves, made their mistakes and still play. We've seen Callum who's still improving, gotten a run of games in a position that is not even his position, and he's done well there. In a higher position, he's gotten his time to be there and still improve. We've seen Havertz play there, but if he does bad in a game, he's taken out of the team, and then we see another playing. So it's like a cycle. So we play Pulisic. If Pulisic doesn't do well, we see fans say play Ziyech. If Ziyech doesn't play well, we hear people say play Mount. If Mount doesn't play well, we hear play Callum. We don't play Callum. We're told to play Kovacic higher. If Kovacic is not doing well there, it goes back to saying Ziyech, then Pulisic, then Mount, then Callum, then it goes back and around and around and around. So there's not consistency in it. And an example I gave is that Ziyech is the only player that I've seen, other than probably Mason Mount on a rare occasion, that's taking shots outside the box, trying to score from distance. And I mean, every time I saw him, I was like, it's a moment of time before he's going to score one of those beautiful goals. And he scored it against Spurs. And I mean, when I saw him hit the shot, I was like, oh, please don't think it's going to be another missed one. But when I see, and man, I still can't stop watching the goal. The strike, it's the way it just went into the top corner. It's like it just went into the corner. It's just you just can't explain it. It just went directly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The section of that goal, it was just perfectly weighted, and it's just amazing. So, but I'm really happy for him. I really am.
Nah, mate. Echoing everything you've just said there, bro. I mean, what a goal that was, mate. Look, we all know Ziyech has got that in his locker. Yeah, that's the Ziyech. That is the Ziyech I saw from Ajax days, mate. He used to just do it from outside the box, shoot the ball from that side, and curl it like he did. He's finally, for me, look, I don't know if this whole thing of him giving up on his international football's helped him a lot as well, because I think by him not travelling anymore, he's getting to do more training. He's getting to do things now in common with his training. I think he's upping his game again. And I think that's only good for us, even for the future. I think it could be good for him. I know there's still some sections of the flip-flop fans, as Green Turf has said, that still don't rate Ziyech. You know, I the only time I ever made a comment about Ziyech is when I thought when he started looking like he was disinterested. Sometimes he showed that in games, even like when he scored that. I remember when he scored, he wasn't celebrating with a smile on his face. I'm thinking, are you really happy, mate? Do you really want to be here? You know, and then we got to start to understand about Ziyech in his career. He's very much the type of player that is very much like that. He does when he scores goals. Yeah. He doesn't, even at Ajax, he never used to always smile like that either. He's just one of those that will score, that will smile on the odd occasion if it was a great goal. And that goal against Tottenham obviously was a spectacular goal. And we saw the enjoyance he did even against Palace yesterday. His celebrations as well yesterday showed it. I mean, he got one goal that was obviously disallowed. Yeah. Finally, when the second one went in from another player that I do criticise from an Alonso cross, and he put that ball in the back of the net.
Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso. But he's crossing of the ball is really, really good though. When he does cross it, he can cross the ball. I'll give him that much. Yeah. And his finish, which is absolutely excellent in the near post, he's just cut inside and whacked it into the corner and put it right in the back of the net. Again, we saw the smiles on his face again. So look, he's one of them kind of players. I've got used to that now at Ziyech. I think now, you know, he just has to be more consistent now. And if he can be like that between now and the end of the season, bear in mind all the competitions we're still playing in, I still think we got a great chance still, mate. I think he can still come good and get some goals. He can still go maybe on, I don't know what his goal tally is now. He can probably go into double figures, I think, come the end of the season.
Yeah, he's on 7 goals and 4 assists. That's what he has. Yep. I saw a stat. Yeah, and that's better than last season. He had only 6 goals and 4 assists. Well, he's improving, man. He's improving. But I mean, injuries didn't really help him because he had injuries. I mean, injuries have always been an issue with Ziyech. That Brighton friendly, before we played them in the Premier League for the first game, that Werner made a little cameo appearance in that, and he scored. Ziyech looked like he was doing well, and then we know that game he had an injury to his thigh, I think it was, and he was and then we didn't see him play until the Man United game, and Pulisic was the same as well. So I mean, injuries have really hampered him, because I can remember, and I did mention this in the earlier part of the stream, that when he came on to Ziyech scored in the Villarreal, I can't speak today, in the Super Cup game, he scored, and then after that he was going for the ball, and then I think he dislocated his shoulder, I think, or something happened to his shoulder, and he was out for a while. But I mean, he's never really been given the opportunity to really say that I'm gonna be doing something. I'm gonna put like a stamp that I should be playing games. And no, he is, because I don't know if it's on this stream, but we were saying that at the moment we cannot drop Ziyech, because Ziyech is one of the few attackers right now that are in form, that are actually giving their all for the team. So we can't drop him. And I find it so funny that we've drifted away from the topic and we're speaking about Ziyech. But I mean, that's what happens, that's what really happens.
Sorry, bro. I brought that up. Sorry about that, mate. But yeah, we'll go back to the topic of Lukaku. Is it Lukaku we're chatting about, wasn't it?
It's not really about Lukaku. It's about the issues, and I think Lukaku is an issue now. Even though Tuchel did say early on that he's not an issue. He's a part of the solution, or he's not the problem. Yeah. He's part of the solution. So I mean, he's an issue now, because he's literally. This is I don't want to seem like I'm slandering him, but he's literally becoming he's literally becoming a problem. He's actually preventing his own teammates from scoring goals, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Agreed,
So
mate, agreed.
Yes. So I want to see him. I want to see him do well. But I mean, Ziyech Ziyech really built them out. And I mean, it was a good cross. And I could gonna say this every time when it looks like we should sell Alonso, even though I still think we should sell Alonso, even if he scores a goal like Van Persie, I think we should still sell him because we need to improve. He's been at the club for what, nearly 6 years now, or probably longer than that. Actually, no, it is 6 years. So, I mean, I think he's been at the club now, he's in his 30s now, and he's getting slower. And like you called him, Alonso slow. We need to look to the future now. We have Chilwell. He's 25, 26. Chilwell probably 24, probably 25. So I mean, we still have him. He still has age on his side. I mean, we could see what happens with Dillian Williams, the left back that we signed from Derby. So I mean,
from Derby.
Yeah. So we could see what happens with them, but I think we need to look to the future now because I think it's a case where we need to look into the future.
No, agreed, bro. Agreed. I thought Trajic might want to talk because I've been speaking. I thought Trajic might want to say something, bro.
Yeah.
I've been speaking.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess with Ziyech, I mean, dude, Ziyech is amazing. I'm half broken, so I also follow the broken team, and we have missed out a lot on not getting Ziyech. I mean, that I watched the goal versus Tottenham live. That was amazing. That was a golden goal, with no exaggeration. I mean, just the way it curved into the goal. Like I thought it was a miss. I thought it was going to be a miss, but man, just how it slotted in. It was amazing. And yeah, I think if you guys bench Ziyech, that will be a big hindrance to you guys. Yeah.
Would you have Ziyech at Man United, Trajic?
Oh, for sure. I think our right wing, it's not very covered. I think and now I can't think. Jesse Lingard. I think he's not doing.
Yeah,
he's not doing his job well. Yeah, on the right wing. I just don't think it's a position where it's very covered because today we played Alonga on the right wing and he's left winger. So I would definitely take. I would definitely take Ziyech at Man United. I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just asking. It's just nice to get another fan's perspective point of view on our plays, mate. Because I know there's I know there are a few. I know there's a lot of fans out there that are non-Chelsea fans that do rate a lot of our players, and you know some of you actually appreciate our players more than some of our fan base does, and that in itself, as a Chelsea fan that I've been for so many years since the 80s, bro, I'm seeing other fan bases like rating our plays over some of our own fan base, mate. That is disappointing to hear that. But it's interesting that you actually had your points on Ziyech. I mean, for me, look, as this whole thing with what Ty was saying about the Lukaku situation. For me, on him, I think he's kind of like at this moment in time, he is hindering what we are doing at the moment in that team because we are depending on him to score us our goals. First of all, secondly, the guy's not doing it as he should be doing it on a regular basis, and all the other players around him seem to be scoring the goals. I mean, as I keep saying, I know he scored those 2 goals in the World Club Tournament, but it seems other places. I mean, for the Premiership, he's just not, for me, doing it as I think he should be doing it, and. This is why I said I think personally he hinders Kai Havertz quite a lot because I think Kai Havertz would, even though people think Kai Havertz is not scoring goals, he may not be scoring goals, but I think what he brings to Chelsea is he does bring up a lot of he does like to pass the ball, bring others into play, whereas does the kind of, and this is as a false 9, whereas Lukaku for me does not do that, and I think that kind of like hinders us in that kind of like way. Yeah, man. So yeah, it's that's the one disappointment I think I say about Lukaku. But as I said, hopefully he's got the rest of this season to improve himself. But I for one, at this moment in time, I cannot see it at this moment in time as a Chelsea fan, to be honest with you, that he's going to change in any way.
Yeah, I just have a question for both of you. If you were to trade in Lukaku for Kane, would you? Because I know that Tottenham are your rivals, so would you actually sacrifice that your differences to trade in Kane for Lukaku?
I would say yes to that in a heart. I'll take Harry Kane to Chelsea in a heartbeat over Lukaku, bro. And again, this is nothing against. This is no hatred towards Lukaku, but let's be honest. Apart from this season, we know with Harry Kane, he does it year in, year out, week in, week out. When he is on form, he's one of the best in the world around. And I think for me, he's better than Lukaku. Not only obviously can he score goals and not just spectacular, he shoots from distance. He also likes to bring others into play. He holds the ball well. He can go at defenders. Whereas Lukaku can't do that. And that's the one thing I'd say. But again, I'm not going to sit here giving a Tottenham player being a rival, a Tottenham player. Would you gas a Tottenham player? However, you have to see what's in front of you every day. And what I see with Harry Kane, I watch he against Manchester City yesterday. He singly won that game for City against Manchester City yesterday. Got the goal, got the winning goal. And this is what you call a striker, bruv. And when he's on fire, I don't think there's anyone as good as Harry Kane in the Premiership, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ty, can you give your 2 cents on that? My question was, would you trade in Lukaku for Kane?
Yes.
Besides your differences with,
Yes, I would because I think it was you that was saying it, or I don't remember who, but I think if Kante wants Lukaku, we can have him at Spurs if he's still that. No, I think it was DJ who said it.
Yeah,
you can have him at Spurs because if he's still there, then He said, but I would take Kane because Kane he understands the league. He does basically everything that we need Lukaku to be doing. But I mean, yes, if it was between both of them, I would take Kane because he's doing it, and like DJ said, he does it every season, minus this season because obviously, he has a lot of issues, and obviously at the beginning of the season he wasn't starting and things like that. But I mean, I would take him if he without taking this season into consideration. I would still take him because he still does good things. But I mean, like DJ said, I don't really like not boasting. I don't really like hyping up Spurs and their players because I mean they're a bunch of team. Honestly, they're a bunch of. Yeah, they have had good players over the years. In fairness to them, they have had good players there. But I mean, just the club structure, and I think like Son and Kane. I mean, it's still not too late for them. They can go to clubs and win things. But I mean,
agreed.
There are other strikers in the league that can offer what Kane offers, but they are different clubs. Before Jimenez had that head injury, I would have taken Jimenez. I would have because he's actually he has been a very key player for Wolves. Yeah, Neves as well. Like I remember when you said that it was 1-0. By the way, speaking about Wolves, what's the score?
I do believe I think it's finished 2-1 to Wolves. 2-1 to Wolves, isn't it?
Oh wow.
Neves got the first goal for Wolves. I'm not sure who got the second and the third. I mean, Trajic probably would know. He's probably watching the game. I don't know who equalised for Leicester.
Already ended. 1 second.
That's amazing.
So Neves and Daniel Podence on the 60th.
Podence.
That's nice. Two midfielders.
What a play, mate. Yeah.
Two midfielders. Yeah. I would take Ruben. I would take Ruben Neves too.
Ruben Neves, mate.
Yeah.
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 He was linked with it. He was linked with
He has some beautiful players too. A lot of Portuguese players, Portuguese speaking players.
I'll echo that 100%, mate. We do. And I say we do because we do have a lot of good players in Portugal, mate. There's one kid to watch out for next season, and I tell you what, if he comes to the Premiership, at the moment he's on loan at Basel. But if any club was to go in for him, I know Arsenal were trying to go for him, and I know Chelsea were going for him. There's a guy called Gelson Fernandes. Now this kid is a player, mate. He's a player and a half. If he was to come, he's a winger. I think he's about now 17. I think he's 18 or 19 years old now. And if he was to come to the Premiership next season, boy, tell you what, he'll be a good player for whatever club gets him. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. That's 100% true. I mean, Adam Muller-Lookman, I remember he's been scoring good goals for Leicester, you know, fairness as well. But I mean, I'm just hoping, you know, based on the performance I saw from Rafinha, all he did was just make me want Chelsea to scout him a bit more. And I hope, you know, there was this photo and this video of Tuchel speaking to Rafinha. If he was saying that, you know, at the end of the season, I'm going to advise the club to sign you. That would be fantastic because I want us, ever since we lost Hazard, we haven't had any player who's been that instinctive, individual brilliance. I mean, Rafinha can do it. He can take on players, and he has no fear about no matter who the player is. It could be a bulky defender. I think he could. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Oh wow! This is a sign. Come on, Chelsea. This is a sign. These two players, they're literally crying for you to sign them. Kunde, Tchouameni, they both got red cards.
Tchouameni both got red carded today. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the big Werner. I've never seen you on my channel before, and big up to you, Zero Genius. Wow, I've never had this. I've never had these people on my channel before.
Matt from Zero Genius. Big up to you as well, bro. And to Von. I've seen him on. Well, I've been on. When I say I've been on streams with Matt, and I've also been in his channel as well. So yeah, his channel's going good as well. As for Werner, I've seen him as well. He's been on some other streams. I've seen him commenting on his comments as well. Big up to both of them, by the way.
Yeah, I've never seen him in particular on my channel. But thanks for the view. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining the chat. So it's always funny, man. And I mean that's how football is. Sometimes you'll have a topic and sometimes you just drift off. But I mean all it does is just make the conversation even better because you're speaking about other things. So I mean, with Kane. And going back to those type of players, I would definitely take Kane because Kane is he does everything, and plus he's the same age as Lukaku. So even if we had signed Kane, we would have been looking for the exact same thing. Yeah, man. Yeah. We obviously they like the advice and saying, "Come on, Chelsea, come on. We don't want to be. I don't want to be a Monaco and City any longer. Just come on, man.
That's it.
Wasting your time. And plus, there's this picture, man. We've already gone off topic. I think it's best if we just continue speaking off topic. You know, I've seen this picture of Tchouameni taking a picture with this guy in a Chelsea shirt. I don't know, man. Probably agent. He's an agent, isn't he?
Oh, see, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What picture was? I haven't seen that picture.
It was some guy. I don't remember. But somebody was like, he said, "I am agent." I don't remember what the name was. Like agent. I told Tchouameni to come to Chelsea, and he just smiled.
Yeah.
So
well, that sounds good.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Tchouameni, and I mean, I said this on Twitter as well. He can offer something that I've been watching Monaco. Obviously, when I go on like watch alongs with Uggs and everything, I've seen that they on paper they field a 4-2-3-1, but I mean in game they play a 4-1-4-1, and I mean in some regards that's sometimes what we do in game. So I mean. He's playing as a lone DM, and that's actually interesting. And I mean, even though people, and you know what, I might as well speak about this as well. Do you share the standpoint that we should sell Kante?
Should we sell Kante?
And Jorginho?
That's a tough one, mate. Look, Kante for me, I know people go on about his injuries, right? And he gets injured a lot. And, he could be the one. But look, if you ask me to choose between him and Jorginho, I would choose Kante any day of the week. It's only because I think Kante offers more. He can play that defensive game, and he can also play as the. He can also play as an attacking midfielder if you like, as well. Whereas Jorginho, for me, just stays in one place and one place only. But look, if it depends on what happens in the summer, bro. Because I mean, what I'm hearing is and what lots been going on and being said is, Jorginho's always wanted to go back to play his final games in Italy. He wants to finish his career in Italy. Now, if he's going by that and his agent is coming out and saying it, I know people say it's his agent, but he's actually come out and said it. And big up to Almighty Blues FC as well and Kit as well. For me, I think if he was to out of the two players, if the right offer, because the thing is, he's still sellable. I think he's got 2 years left on his contract. I do believe we can probably fetch still. Maybe 50, maybe 60 million for him. And if Juventus, there's a lot of talk of Juventus wanting him. If that is the case, I'll probably say sell, bring Tchouameni in, and then you've got a choice of either if you're going to bring another midfielder. Obviously Conor Gallagher's going to come back. Then there's people saying, "Oh, what about another midfielder?" Then you've got the choices of Declan Rice, and then you've got Kamara who can come in on a free as well. So. There's those options, but I know one particular person wants Declan Rice badly at the football club. I don't really know who that is. But I rate Declan Rice. I rate him, but as I've said it on numerous occasions, I don't think he's worth 100 million. That's just 100%. My personal opinion.
And I mean, Go on. My bad. Continue.
No, that's it, bro.
But I was gonna say, with Declan Rice, I mean. I don't think he's worth that much, but obviously, I know Green Turf will, for example, say that, is it because he's English? Because other clubs are in different leagues are valuing their players at 100 million, but fans still want them. So that's Flip-Flop FC, and that's exactly what he would say if he was here to say. Well, that's what other clubs do. But I mean, Tchouameni, he's the cheaper option of the two. And I don't know how true this is, but I think I heard that that the club would be interested in getting both of them, and that it would cost them up to 200 million. So I don't know how true that is, because if that's the case, we get both of them, that'd be good because both parties will be happy. I know you'll be happy if you got Tchouameni, and Green Turf would be happy about Rice. So it would be a win-win situation for both. But I want Tchouameni because like I said, I've been watching Monaco, been seeing that he's been playing as a lone DM in a 4-1-4-1, but he got a red card today. He's basically he saw his Frenchman doing, getting a red card. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna join him because he's showing that he wants to by doing that, man. It's a match made in heaven. Kune gets a red card. And Tchouameni gets a red card. Two players that we're linked with. That has to be signed. That has to be a sign they're coming to Chelsea.
And they share the same agent, bro. Don't forget that.
Exactly.
As well. That's a sign and it's half, mate. That's a sign and all saying, yeah, mate. Both the agent represents them both. They both got sent off today, red carded. They're probably saying, yeah, man, my times are over now in Seville and Monaco. Get me my move to the Prem. Get my move to Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, but like I know United are looking at Tchouameni as well. So there's going to be competition for his signature in the summer, mate. It's not just going to be Chelsea. There'll be a load of clubs. I think Liverpool have thrown themselves in the hat as well, thrown themselves in the ring as well for him as well. So it's going to be a big situation in the summer, bro. I hope Tchouameni comes because we apparently have gone more. And what I'm hearing is far more with this deal than any of the other two clubs have. So I'm hoping Chelsea will follow it up and get to that advanced stage more, and he'll say in the end he'll join. But you just never know, bro. You just never know. I hope he will come in. And I tell you another player I'd love to see come. I don't know if you guys have seen him play. He's another, and there's a whole idea of getting this new scout coming in. Enkite, is it Enkite at the young striker? The one who looks like this kid, mate. I mean, he plays at oh god, what's the name of that French club? Is it Arez? I forgot the name. All I know is his name is Enkite.
Oh, I didn't know we're talking to a tell him the name.
Something. People in the chat, if you guys know, let us know who it is. And I think they know. If it's the same player, if anyone knows the same player I'm talking about, they'll know who he plays for. Yeah, and he looks a prospect, mate.
Yeah.
Let me check the transfer market. Let me see.
Got the look of,
Yeah, let me just check who you guys are talking about. So he's a striker, right?
He's a young striker.
Striker,
He
okay,
plays for. Oh God, Enakiti.
Oh,
That's
here it
his
is,
name.
Hugo,
Enakiti is
Hugo.
his name.
No, here it is. Hugo Ekitike.
That's the one. That's the one, bro.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
That's the one, bro. That's the one. He's a talent. Newcastle wanted him, but apparently he turned down the last-minute move to Newcastle in the January window.
Oh, that's painful.
That kid, you know the one, isn't it? I think. I know you. I know, bro.
Yeah, I remember that one. That's painful, man. That was painful. Yeah, he's not like Trippier. I'm gonna steal Johnny's saying. He doesn't have the minerals, man. He doesn't have the minerals. Come on, why not join the richest club in world football right now? You don't have the minerals to join the club. Come on.
Oh man, nah. Because Trajic, sorry, bro.
Oh no, I was just joking. I was playing off of what Ty said.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, see, no, but yeah, he looks. And there's another kid in Brazil, a young 15-year-old. He plays for Palmeiras, but surprisingly, he did not play in the World Club tournament. And by the name of Eldrick, he's only 15 years old, man, and he's the talk of the town as well. He's playing actually in the first team for Palmeiras. I don't understand why they did not bring him. I don't understand why they did not bring him to the World Club tournament, mate, because he would have caused us problems had he started that game. I tell you that now. But he's another one to watch out for.
Yeah, there's this other player. I think we were linked with him. I think it was last season who plays for Palmeiras. I don't remember his name. I think it's I don't remember his name.
Is it Dudu?
Yeah.
Dudu, yeah, I remember that link. Yeah, Dudu, he's another one. He played against us.
Yeah, and there was this other player as well. He was pretty young. I think he's a midfielder and he can play as a right back. I think I don't remember his name though. We were linked with him, and I just can't remember his name.
He plays for Palmeiras.
Yeah, I think he plays for Palmeiras.
The only one
Let me check.
Oh, and by the way, they won yesterday. Velga scored again.
Yeah, what position does he play?
I think he plays as a midfielder, as a wing back. Oh, the name is going back to me.
Youngster, is he, bro?
Yeah, Gabriel Menino, that's his name, Menino.
Oh, Menino. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Is he?
Menino.
Was he the one? Was he a midfielder?
Yeah, he plays as a midfielder, as a right back.
Yeah, I remember last season he was linked with us, wasn't he? And nothing ever happened with that deal, did it?
Yeah, there was this weird reporter saying that we had signed him, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
really?
I remember that.
And then the other journalist saying that we didn't sign him, and then he's saying, yes, they did. They signed him.
No, I remember that. I remember Menino. That's his name, Menino.
Yeah. People even made videos saying "Welcome to Chelsea" because they thought it was true. But he's still at Palmeiras, man. He's still at Palmeiras.
The same thing happened to us with Amadou Haidara. Like, oh, welcome to Man United.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. What a player he is! If you guys can get him, I tell you that, Tragic. He's a good player, mate.
Especially under Ragnick's system, like he's like a general. He'll be like the general of the pitch. Like he'll instruct the players, tell them what to do, how to properly conduct themselves under Ragnick's system. Plus, he's an amazing player. I mean, just the way he plays would suit us a lot. So, I mean, I'm hoping like if we don't get Rice in the summer, we get him and along with Tchouameni maybe if you guys don't get him. If we do get Rice, then probably we're just gonna gun for him. Then that's it.
Yeah, I mean what I'm going to see is going to be very interesting summer, mate, because I do believe the transfer window is going to go crazy this summer when it comes up. I think it's going to go mad. I mean, you're going to be seeing a lot of players going to and fro, back and forth. It's going to be it's just going to be interesting to see what plays. It's always exciting. I'm obviously more interested in what goes on at Chelsea, but then see what other clubs sign as well. It'll be interesting. It's just going to make our league even better than what it is already. Imagine seeing the likes of Kante, Tchouameni in the Premiership next season. Then you've got obviously Rice, who's already there, Hidara. Another kid I'd love to see come to the Premiership, but I don't think he's ever going to come. That's only because he's going to go to Dortmund. Is Adeyemi. I think he's already going to Dortmund. But he's playing for Salzburg, striker. He's another one, mate. But I do believe he's going to Dortmund. I think that deal is going to be. I think that deal is going to be done. I think that deal is finished. I think it was done and dusted. He's another one. Obviously, Jonathan David. I'd love to see him as well.
He's going to play against us on Tuesday.
I know. Another one, Renato Sanchez. Another one, Isak. Another one. All these guys coming to the Prem next season, man. Be great.
I have some good news. Obviously, I think it's pretty obvious as well, but I just saw some news 50 seconds ago. Reece James is expected to return next week. Chelsea's hope is that he'll be involved in the Carabao Cup final against Liverpool next Sunday, not Tuesday. Next Sunday.
Excellent, mate. That's great news.
That's wonderful news. Yeah. And, I don't know if you saw this, but there's somebody who said this funny thing. Greg Burley said that while Chelsea were winning that plastic cup and it was lapped up like a World Cup win, Man City were racking up a 16-point gap on them in a competition that really matters. Let that sink in. And then this is what somebody said, Gary Hayes. Well, Chelsea were winning against Palace, wearing the seal of world champions on their shirts. Man City were racking up a defeat against Spurs, a team Chelsea beat 3 times in 1 month in January. Let that sink in. Yeah, let that sink in, Greg Burley.
Imagine bobbling.
Craig Burley. Oh
man, salty.
Don't get me started on Craig Burley, man. This guy's career at Chelsea, he's probably going to be one of the worst ever players that ever played and put that football shirt on for Chelsea Football Club. That guy, mate, he could even get. I think he was playing under when Glenn Hoddle was our manager. We had him.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness me, probably one of the worst players ever to come to play in a Chelsea shirt. I swear, honestly. And that guy's complaining. Honestly, that guy won nothing with us, and the guy's going around complaining about us winning all these trophies and things like that. That thing he said on ESPN, it really annoyed me. He got a lot of crap for it though. A lot of the experts out there really got to him, and for him to come out and say what he did, man, look, I'll say any more about Burley. I'll say any more about Burley. I'll end up swearing, bro, and I don't want to do that.
But Jan Halston. I keep butchering these names, man. Jan was on it as well, and he kept saying that's the German. I mean. Jan, I think his name is Jan Hasseltop or something like that.
What was he? What is he? Is
the one that was that we're signing Haaland and we're getting Haaland.
Oh yeah. I know the one you're talking about. He's a reporter, isn't he? He's the one for the Athletic. Is he Athletic? Not the Athletic.
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, but he was defending Chelsea. He was like, you're just salty. Yeah. You're just salty because of that game that they didn't play you in. He was salty and he couldn't say anything. It's like he hit a bone or he hit a nerve, man. He hit a nerve with that. Well, I mean, it's pathetic that he said that. I mean, and normally sometimes I agree with what he says, but when he said that, I was like, come on. I was like, why? I mean, I think he was even voted the most hated player at the club too.
Yeah, he was, bro.
Yeah, he was voted the most hated player of the club. So for him to say, no man, and he thinks he's good, man. The way he insults people is like he was there and he did better, and he's like, oh, doing this. And I mean, I don't want to agree with him, but what his take on Lukaku was, I agreed with what he said about Lukaku yesterday.
Yeah.
We're going from topic to topic here, but I'm going to say happy heavenly birthday to the King of Chelsea, Pete Osgood, man. Rest in peace to him. Obviously, he passed away.
Peace, big up to him.
Yeah, 2006 he passed away. It's pretty unfortunate, but rest in peace to him. But today would have been his birthday. Yeah, so
I never had a chance to watch it. I saw videos of Peter Osgood. My dad knows him pretty well. My dad used to watch a lot of him. My dad used to go and watch Chelsea. And how obviously when my dad came over from Portugal, supporting Chelsea, he used to go and watch a lot of the Chelsea matches. And Peter Osgood was one of his favourite players. Yeah, I mean, what a striker he was. I saw videos of him. I saw that game in Leeds, the dirty FA Cup final. We won that. What a play he was for us there, mate. Yeah, big up to him and obviously to his whole family as well. Happy birthday to him as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. Oh, wow. La Liga referees decided that Pedri's screamer actually should be attributed to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Sorry, bro? What's that?
La Liga referees decided that Pedri's screamer actually should be attributed to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Really? You must have taken it. Took a deflection.
Yeah.
It was a massive deflection. I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
It makes sense because
that's funny, man.
I always had like a thought about deflections. Like if a person takes like a large deflection, does that go to the said player? Like even if it's like an own goal, like say someone like shoots the ball and takes a deflection off their own defender. Like, will that be an own goal in that sense, or will that be a goal for the attacker?
Yeah, I think the way it works is if the ball was going on net, then it gets credited to the player. But if it's a case where the ball looked like it was going to go wide, it's going to be given as an own goal. I think like Havertz. I think for example when Havertz scored that goal against Everton, and it went on Ben Godfrey. I think it's Ben Godfrey. They gave it as an own goal, but it was going to go on target. But they didn't credit it to him. They gave Ben Godfrey They said that it was an own goal by Ben Godfrey. But I mean, yeah,
that does make sense. You know? Go ahead.
I just saw some news just come up on here when I was talking to you guys. I'm getting my Twitter or getting all my things coming across to me, and it says Frank Lampard interested in signing Chelsea's 22-year-old in the summer. I'm only assuming it's got to be. I can't think it would be anyone else. Obviously now Frank Lampard wants him at Everton next season. That's an interesting one.
Wow. I mean, people were joking about that's what he's going to do. He's going to be scouting and he's going to be taking players from Chelsea. That's basically what he said. But I mean, no wonder he waited until the club was a blue team. I mean, he could have gone to Norwich, but he said, "No, I'm not going to a team like that. I'm going to the blue," and he went to the blue side of Merseyside. So, yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Is Broja 22? Is he Broja? He is 22. Is he actually younger than that? I thought he's actually 9. I thought he was 19, 20.
No, he's younger than that. I think he's 19 or 20. Let me check quickly.
So that means it can't be him then. So I wonder who the
22-year-old is. It has to be Conor Gallagher because Conor Gallagher is 22.
Could be. Maybe.
Yeah, but no, he's 20. Broja is 20 and Conor Gallagher is 22. I think it is.
That must be Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, because I heard something about there was some. Yeah, it is him. He's 22. Yeah, exactly. And I'm seeing right here as well. Lampard, Conor Gallagher.
I don't think he's in the gig. He's come back to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
What was that, bro? Sorry.
Yeah. What were you saying? I didn't hear what you said earlier.
Did you say Tino Anjorin as well?
Tino Anjorin. Tino Anjorin is at Huddersfield, I think. Was it Huddersfield? I think it's Huddersfield.
Yeah.
He's injured, but he went to Huddersfield.
He's younger.
Yeah, he's 20. He's 20. Yeah, he's at Huddersfield.
So it's got to be good. So Conor Gallagher, for me, I cannot see Conor Gallagher going to Everton, mate. I think Thomas Tuchel's already said that. I think he wants him back at Chelsea next season to play in that midfield.
Probably not. But I mean, I have to remember that Lampard has that pull, and Conor Gallagher looks up to Lampard. So I don't know. He may go there on loan. I don't know if he did say that he's looking to break into the Chelsea team next season, but I don't know, man. If Lampard is advising for you to come there, I don't know, man. He has that purple.
Damn boy.
Yeah, but I'm hoping not.
He does.
Ian Matheson as well.
Oh yes, another one.
Yeah, but Tino Andrew wonderful. You know what? I have that in mind. You know, looking ahead, the future of the prediction of the future team when it comes on to them. Do these players fitting? Will Billy Gilmore get a chance? Because if we're going to be signing Tchouameni and Rice, what's going to happen to him? Does he go on loan? Do we keep him? What's going to happen?
For me, I think Billy Gilmore. I hope he doesn't. I hope we don't get rid of him. Let's put it that way. If he gets another loan, brilliant. I think he'll be loaned out again next season. I think he'll probably be loaned out, depending on who. I think it could be. He can't obviously. I don't know how many players he can actually bring in on loan. I don't think he can bring 2 Chelsea players in on loan at the same time. I think so. For me, Gilmore will go out on loan, but it depends on what club take him. He maybe Newcastle could take him out on loan. Maybe could be another option for the next season. That could be something for next season. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? Or
yeah, it's possible. Can you guys do me a favor? I have to do something quickly so you guys can find something to speak about. I'll be back in the next 5 minutes.
Sure.
However, yeah, sure. Go on, Tragic. I'll let you talk, bro. I've been talking for so long now. You talk, mate. What do you want to discuss? What do you want to chat about, mate? Anything? What do you want to talk football related?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I just want to talk about some transfer talk. One right winger that has been on my radar, Kevin Agudelo. He plays for Spezia right now. He's good.
Yeah.
Like I saw his game against Fiorentina. Even though they lost that game, that was a very good performance by him. Like he's very fast. He's very skilled. Yeah. When he gets the ball in a straight, like when he's good, and he's onside, just got the ball through it by a through ball. Yep. He's gonna score that. And I think so him for a right wing, he's on my radar. He won't fit in any
your radar. Yeah.
He won't fit in any of my 2 clubs, but I'm just saying, like, if a big club wants to sign him, like, I think he will shine a lot.
You know what, man? I'll be honest with you. I'm probably going to see more of him to watch him, but obviously I'm going to go by what you're telling me. I mean, if he's a good player, I can't see. And who's he playing for at the moment? Fiorentina.
Spezia in Syria.
Spezia. So look, if he's a good player and he's really well, I cannot see him staying where he is. Again, it depends on what club comes in for him in the summer. If he becomes available, if he's good enough, then you can bet your bottom dollar bill the big clubs will be looking at him and they'll scout him. So again, interesting. I'll be honest with you, I've not seen much of him. I don't want to make comments on a player that I don't know about. You probably would know more about him than me, bro. But if you're saying he looks the business and he looks really, really, really good, then I would say he won't last at his existing club. He won't last there. He will move on. So let's see. I mean, as I keep saying, it's going to be an interesting season next season because I can see a lot of good players coming to the Prem next season, especially with the new rules that are coming in place as well, that they've got in place for loans and things like that. So I can see more and more people spending money. And if you're good enough to play, a club's going to be willing to invest in it. And depending on who your manager is that's going to be managing you, I don't see why he can't come. He's good enough. I can't see why he can't come to a top 3 or top 5 club in the Prem next season. Maybe Tottenham could take him if Kante knows Tottenham know of him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there are. I mean, they have a good left winger, of course, and Son. They have a good striker. I think just the only thing they need right now is a good right winger. yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just getting a false glimpse of him because I haven't really followed him for a very long time. But
Yeah.
I just think yeah, as you said, like Spezia aren't a big club, so they're not going to be keeping him. Like he's going to be going straight to a new club if he keeps that form. But yeah.
Oh, is he back, Ty? Yeah, go on, Ty. Sorry, bro, you'll jump in.
No, yeah, I kept sneezing while ago. I had to mute, and I still feel like I want to sneeze. Oh boy.
Take your time, man. Take your time. You got it.
Yeah. I just want to look at this stat again by Lukaku. So 7 touches, 4 successful passes in 90 minutes. That is wonderful.
I wanted to ask a question about that. Like, I didn't watch the full game because I had some stuff to do. But was Lukaku getting like proper service? You know, if we're going by that stat, or was he building stuff? Was he building play up, or was it just like he was trying to like hide from the ball, like that type of thing?
I don't know, man. It looks like I saw someone make this joke, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. I mean, you can't have a bad touch if you barely touch the ball.
Yeah,
so, yeah. If you don't touch the ball, you can't have a bad touch. So, I mean, him doing that is probably that's the reason behind it. Yeah, but it's just sad, man. It's sad. Lukaku really brought himself in this position, which is why I feel sorry for him, but I can't really feel too bad for him, because at the end of the day, whether he plays good or bad, he's earning only money that I would dream of earning. So I mean, I really can't feel sorry for him because he's earning money despite his performance. Yeah. No worries, DJ. DJ just said that he's lost his connection again. That's fine. But yeah, I may wrap this up in the next 15 minutes if that's fine with you.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I might head out real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been a good conversation. I think I like your openness about this panel. It was nice to talk about football. And the problems at clubs in the Big Six.
Yeah, but before I've gone through the entire stream, and I normally do this every stream, and I keep stressing this. Like the banner is saying, I'd like to thank you for joining the Tytalkz family if you've subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna use this. I've been saying this recently, and I mean, winning games isn't easy, but it's easy to smash that like button. It's easy to subscribe. It's not as hard, and it's free. I'm not going to be charging you to click it. It's all you need to do. You just need to scroll down if you're using a phone, and you just subscribe. If you're using a computer or something else, you can always just use the mouse and just maneuver yourself over to the subscribe button. You hit it, and it's done. And if you want to see other videos, you can always just click that notification bell so you can be notified when I make a video. But thank you for deciding to join the Tytalkz family, and I've gone through the entire stream without saying this, but thank you to everyone who subscribed and helped me to get to 100 subscribers. I really appreciate it. Thanks to those who supported me along the way. Obviously, I have another channel that I practically abandoned. I uploaded a video so it wouldn't look that bad, because I haven't been able to upload on that channel because the topics I want to do, I haven't really gotten people on that I want to, because that channel is now football based. I'm a Chelsea fan and I'm a Newcastle fan as well, but I also enjoy speaking about other clubs, because I mean, football isn't just about your team. You also have to speak about what is going on with other teams. But I mean, I don't know, with Trajic TV, I mean, it's good to have good take to speak to him and hear his takes as well. So I may have to find some way to communicate with him to see in the future if he's free to speak about things like Man United or Real Madrid or whatever the case is with other teams, because I mean, it's a case where, you know, I just want to be able to get the people who would actually have their perspective because it's their team. So yeah, and like DJ is saying, he says if he can't jump back on, he thanks for having him, and no problem as well. And thanks again. Thanks for the support, DJ Sav as well. And yeah, hopefully, it's a start of something better. I don't know. I just hit the mute button by accident. I was trying to do something else. But anyways, I'm still trying to find any information because I think it's in all fairness it's okay to speak about unrelated things to the topic because I've drifted off the topic a long time ago. Well, basically all I'm seeing right now is that people are speaking about Wan-Bissaka, and speaking about that, what is your take on Wan-Bissaka actually?
To be honest, man, like Wan-Bissaka, he's had off and on days. Like he actually had a good game today. His interceptions were very pristine. His tackles were very good. He tackled the opponents without getting a card, without getting a foul. And yeah, to be honest, I think he's better as a defending fullback. I think if we're defending, play AWB definitely. And I don't think that all the hate he's getting is meritable, because I just think that he needs a special system to play. Like if we're playing like a back five, for example, play AWB. Like if we're gonna end a game, if we're up 2 goals, just add a defender, add an extra defender, then sub in AWB. So that's my thoughts on Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah. In all fairness, I agree with you. He's been on and off. I mean, he's had a lot of good games, and then more of the Blue Wilders have a lot of bad games. But yeah, it's. I mean, with I have a question. I realized that Dahl wasn't playing. Is it was like a method of resting him, or does he have an injury or something?
I actually have no idea. It came out of the blue. Demo, I think he had a picture with Ronaldo, Tellez, Fred, and those guys a few days ago. So it seemed like actually on the training field. So it seems like he's not injured. But I we didn't even play Tellez either. We played Shaw. So I guess it was just a thing of like resting them for the time being, because we do have an important game coming up against Atletico Madrid. So I think Ragnick thought, okay, let me rest our main fullbacks and play our spares, and it ended up working. And we won a game, and we also rested our fullbacks. I also thought that he should have rested Ronaldo as well. He should have played Cavani, because we need Ronaldo for the Atletico game. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm pretty sure they're not injured. I just think that he just rested them for the time being.
That would make sense, because they're playing Atletico Madrid. Speaking about Atletico Madrid, I think I'm gonna quickly look and see what their results were, because I want to see if they're in form or anything, or if they. Oh yeah, they won 3-0. Was it today or yesterday? I think they won 3-0.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah, the thing is, I've been following them for a while now, because I'm also a fan of La Liga, so I watch those games. They're on and off them. They beat Osasuna. Osasuna are not a high tier club. They're not they're like mid table in La Liga, if anything. And they won that game 3-0, but they also lost to Levante. Levante is in relegation. They're 20th. They got They beat Getafe. They also got beat by Barca. And it's like they're on and off. But I mean, the thing is, that's the thing about Atletico. We don't know when they're going to show up. And so we're just going to have to, throw the kitchen sink at Atletico and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You said they're on and off. That I looked at their record, and it's coincidentally it is loss, win, loss, win. So is it a loss again? Because it looks like that's the going is they lost to Barcelona, then they won against I think it's Getafe 4-3, and then they lost to Levante, and then they won 3-0. So I don't know, man. They're up and down, man. They're up and down.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if we're going, all I'm saying is if they're going on the same pattern, then they're going to lose to us, right? They're going on the same pattern, right?
Yeah. I have a question though. Do you share the view? I've been seeing a lot of Man United fans saying this, that just like with Chelsea and Tuchel, a German manager comes in, they sack a club legend, and then they go on to win the Champions League. Do you share that view?
I mean, to be honest, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. It doesn't happen that much. Dude, how you guys did, sacking the last manager, then getting Tuchel in and winning the Champions League, that was rare. It's a rare thing to happen. Usually, you need form, you need consistency, you need a long-term manager to then come in to win the Champions League, because it's not an easy thing to do to just automatically get a manager then win the Champions League.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing is that's the way Chelsea won the two Champions League. They sacked the only things that the opposite happened for the second time. It was somebody who had no connection to the club at first that got sacked, and a club legend. Well, I would consider him a legend. That came in Di Matteo, and then they won it. He came in March, and then they went on to win it. Yeah, but that's. But like you said, it isn't easy, and I think there's a lot of factors around it. And that is one topic that I wanted to speak about when it comes on to Man United, and that's because player power. Like I said, like I was saying in the stream, there's player power there as well. There's lots of underlying issues that is there as well. So that's one of the topics I want to speak about in the future, because Man United, comparing to what was going on with Chelsea at the time and comparing to Man United, they're having issues where some people they look like they just don't want to play the way Rangnick wants them to play, or they just simply don't think that they deserve to be playing under him. And some people don't want to give up the captaincy. Some want to be the captain. Some don't want to be the captain. Some think that they're worth this amount and things like that. It's all over the place. There's a lot of things going on with Man United, and they've really fallen off in years. And I'm really surprised at how far off they've fallen. But I mean, they're still able to score goals, and that's something. I mean, if they're able to get their defense started, they're able to get that player power and the big egos things suited. They're not far behind getting back to where they are, but at the same time, they have to get the right manager. They have to be able to give them the opportunity to do something there as well, in order for them to get back, even if it's to some level at where they were before. Because the last time they won the Premier League, I think was 2012?
2012. It was 2012, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2012. So obviously it's pretty weird. So I mean, I think the last time they won a trophy as well was under Mourinho. So that really just does tell a lot. And I mean, it's not a lot. They haven't gone through a lot of managers to that point where the last one. But I mean, it does seem like it's been that long, but it really isn't that long, you know. Because I mean, for Spurs, yeah, that's what you call long. And funny enough, the last time they won a trophy was against Chelsea. So yeah, it's funny. You know, you got to feel sorry for Spurs. But I mean, for Man United fans, they don't need to. The only thing they would really consider bad about it is the fact that they've gotten to finals and they've never been able to just click and win. So that's the only issue that that I would say that they're having.
Yeah, I mean the fact that we lost to Villarreal in a European final. I mean, dude, it's Villarreal. They're not good. They're honestly not good. I mean that shows that in the next coming weeks we got Ronaldo and we beat them twice in the Champions League qualifiers. But I mean, yeah, like it just shows that we have this weird mentality to just give wins away. I mean, I thought we were going to give a win away today as well. And we need a better mentality. We need a better coaching system. As you said, there are a lot of underlying issues with United, and I hope it gets fixed because I hope Ten Hag comes in the coming months because he will be the best option for us. I don't want Poch. I just don't think he'll fit well in here. Yeah, man.
There's two people here. I don't know. I haven't been on YouTube to see what the like is, but I know people have come on, they've left, and then they've returned and they've left. But I'm going to quickly look at the like just before I end this. All right, that's good. That's more than that I'd get on an average video. So thanks. I think thanks for coming on, Tragic. I think I may run it down here because I think I've basically covered everything that I want to cover in this stream. Obviously, I'll be having more streams later down. So for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know I enjoyed it. Thanks once again to DJ Sav and Trajic for coming on. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share the stream, and see. Do you want to say something before you leave, though, Trajic?
Yeah, sure. Is it okay if I plug my channel?
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. That was a bit messed up. I didn't hear what you said a while ago.
I just said, is it okay if I plug my channel?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, check out Tragic TV on YouTube, Tragic TV on Instagram. I upload some soccer stuff, some UFC stuff. So if you like edits and all that, then check my channel out.
Yeah, quick question. Well, are you on Twitter or Instagram?
I think I do have a Twitter account, but I don't use it. I do have an Instagram account.
So do you use Instagram?
Yeah, I don't use it a lot, but I usually use it to communicate with friends and also upload some stuff quickly. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'll try to find it, or if you can send me the link, you can get in contact with me, so I'll be able to put it in the description because I like to put the socials of the people that come on as panelists in the description. So if you can get in contact with me, it's Tytalkz CFC on Instagram. It's exactly like it is on YouTube. So Tytalkz CFC, you see it's a different logo. It's a blue logo on Instagram. So you can get in contact with me and I'll just copy the link there and I'll put it in the description. But thanks for coming on again. Thanks to Chelsea Perspective who was here as well. Almighty Blues, CVO Genius, and Werner and everyone who came on. Football leagues explained. Thanks to everybody who came on. Thanks to those who shared on Twitter and Instagram. I saw those who shared, so I really appreciate it. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay blessed. Peace. And keep the blue flag flying high if you're a Chelsea fan. And obviously, if you're not, then just keep whatever flag your team has flying high. Thanks for watching once again. Peace. I'll see you guys next time.